I don't know if you guys know who Cal McGee is. I think I'm saying that right. Another famous trader in the trading world, and yeah, I think quantum names have been or were some of his big plays over the past couple of months and last year as well.
We just missed. We were waiting at 104.90 there, and I had to punch higher at 96, but we didn't get the level. But the futures did break lower right there. So, you know, we did reload a little bit, but nowhere near what we wanted to. So we're going to get a little bit more back in if this does, you know, give it to us. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. But a little bit of a reload there on the futures. All right, Obi, make sure you're going to join me back here at 2 o'clock, right?
Of course.
Okay,
right here.
So then that's perfect. We will see everybody then. Thank you, Obi. Thank you, Adara. Thank you, Andre, there for doing everything.
Thank you.
On the show. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks, everybody, for everything. Thank you for your patience today, everybody. We're back at 2 p.m. It's now the midday show. Get them, guys.
Get 'em.
Bang. This guy. Boom! Greetings and salutations.
Yes.
Beautiful people, welcome to the midday show. Like, you didn't tell me yesterday. That's your boy Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And where are my people at in the chat? There we go. Shout out to Oxlong, Hack You. We got many. Miggy Moggy Mo. Pinch Bull, Brown Lighting and Cold King, Blue Army. Shout out to Sven Riviera, Don Sharifo joining us as well. Jody Mills, Joey.
Jody.
Will is there. Shout out to Mike and the German Garage. I like it. Shout out to Xiao Bo and Deep Scurf. Who else, man? We got Harris Khan. We got Hangry Wife, Ed Miller, and Adam James HPN. Andrew freaking Chow is in the house. Shout out to Jake Robert, Snake, and Steve. We got Byron Hart, a proper gang, Paradox, and Mox. Shout out to Mr. Easy Street and Mr. Poopy Paper Hands. Always makes me chuckle. Ricky G. I'm not saying that, SM. Bye. We got Jimmy Joe Smith, Wicked Chunky Trades. All right, Jim Z or Z. And one more, Joey. We're going to go James Choi, I lied. Darth Trader. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday morning. The weather is insane here. And anybody who's in the Toronto area or in, southern Ontario, western New York, you guys are going to be greeted to one hell of a weekend because we got like 85-degree Fahrenheit, obviously, days, 28-degree Celsius days all freaking week. And let me tell you, bro, I'm going to spend very, very little time indoors.
Oh, yeah, that's the ideal thing, man. But Sharif, we got UFC this weekend and a whole bunch of things. So I'm going to tell you full disclosure, it's my birthday and I'm going to be indoors. Yeah. So yeah, it's my birthday and I'll cry if I want to. Yeah, I mean, we got, we go. Let's go. Let's see where we're going. Let's get rocking and rolling. Screen. Assassino, bang.
Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, I'm not even tapped in here. All right, guys. Yeah, bang. I bet we'll talk about this. Let's go to Adara quick.
Talk about MindMed. This one got a little bit of a pop. It's already pretty much given it all up. But Marijuana Moment, our favorite source here when it comes to these storylines or sort of catalysts involving psychedelics. New York lawmakers, according to or again, Marijuana Moment, saying holding a hearing over psilocybin's medical benefits amid broader debate over psychedelic reform. So again, MNMD on watch. Psychedelic reform debate apparently happening here. New York lawmakers holding a hearing over, again, the medical benefits of psilocybin, MNMD. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. All right, never mind. We'll hop into this one. Let's go into our name that we took a loss on first, and that's going to be Tesla. I think a lot of people were looking long here on this name. We take 2 attempts on this bad boy. Nope, doesn't work out. Wants to continue to bleed on the session. So there it is. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Bang, selling. Took 2 stabs. Didn't work out. Then we AC Slater that one, and we hop into the likes of IBIT. Let's pull that one up there. So yeah, we're short currently. Double top right here at that 68.15. Bang. We play the break of the neckline, and it's just flush city all the way to the downside. So keep an eye out on that. We have 1 out left. So I'm just going to let this ride. Ethereum is just absolutely tanking, significantly more aggressive than what Bitcoin is, but we are starting to see a little bit of a sell-off. Now, as for AMD, we'll go 1 for 1 on it so far. We're in it on a third attempt for the break of this support level. You can see downtrend here, so I'm looking for this to continuously hold. The initial move up was a squeeze. We just like, all right, let's get a little bit of a better price as we got out. Now we're gonna look for that 168 support to break. If it sits on the backside of this, I'm out of the trade. See you later. We got the IBIT trade. That's the one that's been working the best for us today.
All right, man. Sounds good. Here's what I got on 2 positions very, very early on. Let's start with YCBD. I perceive this to be accumulating for a 140 break, a flat top break. I realize that 143 is the high of the day, but there has been no prints that closed above 140. So I'm looking for continuation there. In addition to that, it's obviously flipping from an area of resistance around 130 into an area of support. It's got good higher highs and higher lows. We're working our way into this trade. No profit takers quite yet, but probably should. It does behoove me to throw in some there in case we do get a price spike up and then back down. So we'll see what we get here with YCBD. Also in TSHA, shout out to Tisha. I think she's in the chat today. This one's got higher lows with a bit of a bull flag pattern, as you can see on the bottom chart. The bottom chart is the 5-minute, the top chart is the 1-minute. And there seems to be buying at around 440, so I've got a dollar cost average here to add a little bit more at 446. We'll see if that one ends up triggering. Anything below area low in 431 land ends the trade for me. But let's cut the crap.
Cut it.
Okay? Let's cut the crap. Everyone wants to talk about this one right here. BTTC. It's insane. It's flying. It's barely doing any volume because it can't stay open, Joey. It's got 453,000 shares traded, but it's up a light and easy and no big deal, 346% on the day. This one really started getting going, I want to say around 950. I don't really see much in the way of volume prior to that. And there has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are on our 6th halt now. They have all been to the upside. They've varied. Some have been 10 minutes, Joey. Some have been 5. We're currently in another halt right now. We'll pack her patience. I just want to go let you know before we go to Adara, this one did halt at 11:01:29. So it's not going to open up at 11:06:29 because we're past that. The earliest this will open is 11:11:29 with the theoretical auction price, because it's on the NASDAQ, so we'll be able to see it. $23.01. We halted at $20.60. Let the insanity begin, Adara.
I mean, there's maybe some more insanity here on this CBK. This is Commercial Bank Group. I don't have it on my chart because it doesn't have a chart yet. It's an IPO. And the tap on this one, the theoretical auction price has been moving around a bit. I saw it at one point at 40, currently at 26. It was 29 a minute ago. The pricing for this one is supposed to be 25.75 to 27.75. So right now it's poised to open very much in the lower end of that range. This is again an IPO. Shares it's set to be releasing here 3.73 million shares. So very small share size there, and the offer amount is $119.2 million. So CBK, IPO, and watch. Back to you.
Adara. For that, IPO season. So thank you, Adara, for keeping us apprised of that. And when it does, and if it does open during the show, obviously we'll cover it for you. Joey, I'm keeping my eye on the following over here. I'm just going to show a quick glance of the coveted side charts. DFLI has weaseled its way onto my side charts, and I'm quite interested in getting into a trade in this one, mainly because it's holding up at the 10 EMA. Obviously a level that I use. It's at around 82.5 pennies, 91 penny high a day. I have, a sneaking suspicion that this one may glance at our very good friend here, the dollar level. Hopefully here, DFLI, Joey, up 42.5%.
Good look there. All right, so we take that small scalp here. I'm like, I don't like it to the top side. We try for the short, stopped out. Try for the short once again, breaks the trend line. We get out of that one. So yeah, AMD, see you later. I think it looks like it wants to break up there, so I just have the wrong direction on that. No big worries. Now, as for IBIT, that starts a big time recovery on the 1 minute. There is a beautiful indecision print, which I really, really like as well. But I'm short this name, so if it comes back to the break even, I'll just hop out, and then we're just going to be patient. I think that Tesla can turn around at some point throughout the session, even though the volume weighted average price is hogging the PA pretty tight. This can be indicative of like say that we're going to continuously sell because the volume and the weight obviously is continuously going to the downside. So you're seeing a lot of volume continuously step in at lower and lower prices. So that's why it is hugging relatively quick. There it is. There goes AMD. AMD is breaking up. Yeah, so that's a really nice wedge here, guys. Let's take a look at what AMD's been up to. So we had this downtrend now snapped. Could this be a possible liquidity grab? Absolutely. So yeah, that's what we got going on with those two names. As for that, Sharif, I know Rami got us a nice little cool game here. If you wanna fire that up, I don't know. Are you ready? Or are you punching?
Yeah. We're gonna do it live. We're gonna throw in some stops,
right,
get everything kosher, and then we're gonna do it live.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. I'm gonna just talk to you guys a little bit about. Oh, okay. Oh, you have it over there.
We can't just jump into it, Joey.
I could just.
Your friend Elon yesterday achieved something that nobody in the history of mankind, humankind, whatever kind of kind you want to talk, get the hell out of here, Trenda, you little idiot, has ever achieved.
Mallet out of here.
He's now worth over $500 billion, Joseph.
Give me a schmilly, man.
Yeah, it's not all cash, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot
so one
of
must
money.
question, one must ask oneself, what kind of purchases can one make with 500 billion? Cue the screen.
Cue the screen.
All right, so this is a Bill Gates one, obviously, but it's going to be the same thing. So Joey and I we want to have a little fun. So we can buy how many Big Macs, Joey? About 250 billion Big Macs?
How many? But no, hold on here now. I'm not even touching the Big Macs. I don't want any of that. I don't want a lobster
You don't want
dinner.
any Big Macs?
No, I don't want any.
You got 500 billion. It's
That's
only
fine.
on mine,
that's
Joey,
fine. But I'm still going through the list as well too to see what I want to buy. I don't have to buy what Sharif wants to buy, Assassino. I can look at mine as a. I know. That's fine.
Why are you arguing with it?
No, I'm going to let you know what I'm going to buy. Here, look, Sharif, go down to the auto rickshaw.
Yes, sir.
Go down to the auto rickshaw. Go down a little bit.
Auto rickshaw.
Yeah. Bang, right there on
Where
the right
am I looking?
side.
On the right
Bang, right?
Yo, that's called a tuk-tuk.
That's a tuk-tuk.
Cut the crap, Joey. That ain't no rickshaw. It's a tuk-tuk.
Listen, I'm a man of the people. The Uber drivers of Toronto need some new vehicles.
You don't want to say that. These are all over Egypt. They're all over Egypt, and they're driven by 12-year-olds who are insane. You do not want to see these in the streets of Toronto, bro.
I'm buying 100,000 of them for the lads right there. For the lads right there, 100,000 rickshaws. We're going to clean up the streets of Toronto.
Crazy talk.
No more of the electric scooters. No more of the mopeds. We're going with the tuk-tuks.
Joey, you will not to say that if you see these live in action. It's chaos.
It's chaos.
I see these guys put it on one wheel. I've seen all sorts of nonsense. And I know they're in India as well. They originate from India.
I'm all about the chaos. Okay, so my first purchase is the tuk-tuk. What are you going with here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a few puppies. You know, there's a horse in there, Joey.
Okay,
designer bag doesn't interest me.
You gotta get
luxury wine. I ain't dropping $7 grand on luxury wine. Now we can talk about a Rolly.
I'm buying $1 million bottles.
We can talk about a Rolly. Right?
Just in case we run out.
Joey, $15K for a Rolly. Yeah. You're a 500 billionaire. I'm getting the top Rolly around. It ain't gonna be 15K. It's gonna be 150K.
Bang.
Diamonds, blinged, gold. I need a monster truck for 150,000.
How many are you getting?
Like 10.
That's it?
10. My friends and I will play monster truck wars in the backyard.
All right.
Right? And you know what I mean?
What happens when all those ones are done?
We're gonna get another 10.
You need 1,000 of them at least. Come on, we got the money.
Hold on.
It.
An M1 Abrams tank runs me 8 milli.
Ooh.
And a yacht runs me 7.5. Now, you know, I can only just speculate what these two together could cause, right? You know, you got the Abrams tank there on the shore. You pull up in the yacht, right? Then you jump right in the tank. It's like living Dan Bilzerian's life.
Easily.
Shout out to Danny B.
So give me 1 million of them.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm out of money already. I only got 2 million left.
It sucks to be rich, bro. Make a movie. Who's that? The Rock? Get the Rock.
Well, I'm making
Boeing,
a lot of
clearly
movies.
I'm going to buy a few Boeing 747s. We're going to have like that Drake life where we're going to have a wide body land at Hamilton Airport. Then we jump in, you know, we cruise down to LA. A skyscraper too, I could do that, Joey. An NBA team doesn't interest me whatsoever. Now we could talk about an NFL team. We could talk about a Premier League team. NBA, I got no interest. Right, a mansion, 45 million. We're gonna get a few of those.
You gotta buy them, brother. You're just right now. You're just window shopping right now.
I'm a window shopper. All right, I got to take some profits.
Take
bro.
some
All
profits.
right,
Lock it in there, man.
All right, we're having a good time, guys. I hope that was good, Ram, because that's the end of that. So we're gonna keep an eye now on BTCC. It is halted up yet again, and it is now up 450%, having halted at $25.31, 11.51 the last print. The tap already higher, 26.67. This one's going. I haven't even seen it open yet, guys, so we can't even take any trades on it. We're going to keep an eye out now as this one really gets going. Joey, what do you got?
Yeah, I got nothing right now. So I got out of my last bit of IBIT there. I'm just waiting for some definitive signals on Tesla that say, hey, let's get ready to turn this price around. I would love to see it make a new low, and then we'll look for those indecision prints. Shout out Jag, shout out to my guys, Gorev, Los Polios, and everyone else in the chat. Adam. James. Love the energy. Let's go. $20 super chat from our boy. Much appreciated over there in the West Coast. Not the best coast, though. Adara, what do you got?
Here is our own look at the top richest people in the world. This is the top 10. Oh, sorry, this is the older version of this infographic. This does not reflect Elon's new net worth. So this was basically as of the close of, here's the up-to-date version. As of the close on, or Wednesday on yesterday, Elon Musk just below 500 billion. What's interesting too, though, is Jensen Huang, since I last made this about a month ago, he's actually gone down one spot from 7th place to 8th place. Bernard Arnault, though, actually moved up a couple spots from 9th to 7th. So you can check this out on X at TTV Research. Both the original version and the updated version there in the same thread. Had a lot of fun making this, and I guess congratulations to Elon Musk on this very intense achievement. $500 billion in net worth. Back to you.
Adara, weasel in for if you can for a second. You got to see what was on the screen there, right? You got
Honestly,
to see some of the things. Well, you probably heard us yelling about tanks and yachts and mansions.
Confused, yeah.
Which one would you get there, Adara? What's your first purchase there?
I mean, I can't drive a tank or a yacht. I'm probably, I would honestly, know this is going to sound really dumb, but I would probably donate some of it, to certain causes or to just people in need. Maybe I'd pull a Drake God's plan. Maybe I'd go to Florida and but not Florida, because why did he do it in Toronto? Maybe you just do it in Toronto. But I don't know.
Can I say one thing to you, though?
Having that much money.
Can I say one thing to you?
Yeah.
On private property, you don't need a driver's license.
Drive. What do you do?
But then I would still be uncomfortable doing that in private property because, Sharif, if I fall asleep at the wheel, I am still hurting myself.
I have trouble believing that, Adara. You're here all day. I don't see you asleep.
Before this has happened, that's why I don't drive. But
Adara.
also, the IPO, guys, it's open. It is open.
What's the ticker?
CBK. It opened at 25.25. Currently trading. There's no volume on this.
Thank you, Adara.
It's been the same spread for like a minute now.
CBK right there on the screen. Thank you for pointing that out, Adara. There it is. Yeah, $25 on the dot. There's basically no volume, as Adara mentioned. 103,600 shares traded so far. Joey, we're going to keep tabs on this and as well more. What do you got, brother?
All right, yeah, let's keep our eyes out on some things. I'm not in any positions right now. Are we going to be looking at a potential fake out false break there on AMD? I like our chances here, to be honest with you. Why? Because the volume didn't step in on the 5-minute time frame. So that's what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, just in case it does come back in, and we're not really sustaining that move to the top side. Intel was a really good opportunity as well, considering that yesterday, just as we were about to leave, it really started to move higher and pump on that AMD news. And then you had this indecision print that I was going to go long off of, but should, coulda, woulda, right? And I didn't take the trade. So now we're just going to be keeping our eyes on some of these chip names. Yeah, and so that's with AMD. But with that being said, guys, let's take a look at our top performing sectors of the day. Let me get this off here for you folks, and then we'll see what we got going on here. Now, the crypto space, it has been pulling back slightly aggressively, so just keep that in mind. But as long as we continuously hold these levels, I like our chances here for a potential break of the all-time high. Maybe after the weekend, leading into the weekend, let's see how the overnight markets are looking. But with that being said, materials up 0.6%. The technology sector is up 0.25%. After that, guys, it's all blood red. Industrials down about 1/5, and then the bottom three, we got the comm services down 0.6. The real estate sector down 0.75%, and then same with the healthcare as well, too, guys. So those are the best and worst performing sectors of the day. Now, as for the week, Yes, the week, guys. The Qs, the NASDAQ is leading the way, up 1.3%. SPY holding on to that green, up 1%. And then we have the Dow sitting in that third place, up 0.4 roughly. And then the IWM in last place there, guys, up about 0.13 of a percent, Sharif.
All right, guys, continuing to watch here, BTCC. As we mentioned, it halted at 11:51. It is now 11:21. So let's see if it's going to be a 10 or 50-minute halt. So 51 or 50 was the last print. It is 21:20. So we have about another 30 seconds or so. Let's see what this one does. I just did add into my position to DFLIs. It came back into the volume weighted average price, but I really want to watch now to see what this one looks like. We're seeing a top of 27.08, so it's already $1.70 plus higher than where we halted. We have another 10 seconds or so. If this is going to be 10 minutes, it's going to be in about 5 seconds now. So let's see exactly what we can get on here. If it's just going to halt up, and it looks like it's moving up again. There it is, 29.81. Unbelievable move. It is going to halt again here, 29.81. Let's see if it grays out. Big move here for BTCC. This is an IPO. I don't really have much in the way of information on it. Let me see. It's called Black Titan. So it's opened at $6 a share. I'm just seeing if I have any more information on it. Yeah, so it's just $6 a share is all what I'm seeing right now. That's all really the data that I have on it. Everything's very, very new. So big move up for these ones. Be careful with them because, you know, when they turn, they do turn, and it gets quite ugly. So up 546%. We'll keep covering this one for you guys. TSHA taking a couple of prints to the high side through 470. It's coming back down. I still have a plan to keep adding into this one on the moves down. It seems to find support at the volume weighted average price. Currently VWAP is around 440. That's where my profit or my next not beak wetter, but planned DCA is waiting at 445 to front run that. So we'll see what we can get on that one. Also holding still YCBD. I've got a bias that this breaks through 140. It's still holding up at the 10 EMA. I've built my position here at 140, showing me 140. So we're break even on it right now. There's others that I'm keeping an eye on. Some of them are holdovers from a few days ago. Remember BQ, it's back in focus. BQ is up another 26.5% today. It's off the highs, but it's got a good chart pattern. I guess a little low on volume maybe though. About 5 million shares traded. Should be a little bit more, especially with a declining volume profile like this. Looks like it really was front loaded, the volume that is, on BQ. But definitely having trouble clearing 12.25 on a closing basis. Let's see if this candle can. I'm also keeping an eye on BKKT. This is another holdover, I should say, from a few days ago. It ran nicely on the 29th and again on the 30th. Had a basically an inside day yesterday. And then we're running up again today. I perceive here a nice bull flag to have started right at 9:30 with that consolidation lasting from 9:45 to about 10:20. And then we break out again. We're at 46.20 as a high. We're showing 44 2/3 right now, current price action. GDXD is not a small cap gapper in the strict sense, but it's moving like one. This is an inverse gold ETF. Gold is down over 1% on the day, and this one is obviously tracking it to the downside. So keep your eye on that one. It's up 9 2/3 at the moment. Likely won't execute on that, but I left it on there as an option. CAN is losing the bid quite quickly over here. We had this one up because it was up about 23, 24% when we first started, but it's a series of lower highs, unbroken series of lower highs. We'll see if this one can print anything maybe above 130, break that trend to the downside. It's currently at or around the volume weighted average price. And that, last but not least, DFLI, as I mentioned, I added at that 80 penny area into VWAP. We've got 82s. It's showing me 82.5. We'll see what we get on that one, Joey.
All right, good look there, guys. Yeah, so I mean, there goes Bitcoin. Ethereum's relatively stronger here, right? So as it's heading in towards the high of the day. Now, is there going to be a good opportunity to buy into this? I think so. I like the continuation, and I was just talking about the potential of, hey, We might see some all-time highs on Bitcoin over the weekend. I don't want to be too optimistic, but I like our chances considering we're not too far from it. Let's pull up the actual underlying asset itself and see what we got going on. What you got going on? What you doing? So yeah, how you doing? Good morning. So yeah, there it is, guys. Like 124.5. We have a high of 120 on the session. So I mean, that can go in a span of a couple of days, right? Like it's gone, boom. 4K is nothing essentially in Bitcoin. Even though I've mentioned before the fact that after it became optionable and then IBIT coming in there, you can hedge it in different ways. The volatility has been a little bit decayed, and it's not as aggressive as it used to be, which I like in some sense as well too. So adding a little bit more stability to the space. Now, bang, 124.5. Let's go. Hold me accountable for those words. Monday. You know what? Actually, if it hit, imagine. So, okay, listen, universe, listen to me right now, please, and thank you. For my birthday, 125 on BTC. That's it. That's all. That's all we're doing. That's all I'm gonna say. All we're asking for
now, huh?
Well, oh yeah, imagine it did that. Oh, if that's the okay. No, you want to make a bet? You want to make a bet?
I'm not making any bets about BTCC, bro.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. If it hits 125 by my birthday, you have to buy me an American Eagle pair of jeans.
Let me think about that one for a second. No. No,
what
bro.
A dog. What a dog.
Man, it ain't happening.
Right,
I'm not giving back more money on that.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm waiting for my American Eagle.
All right. Yeah, this guy is shopping. All right, but no, in all seriousness, guys, let's go over some of the top volume names as well, too, and see what we got going on. We're going to just run through the scan and see if there's any potential setups that are really attractive to our eye, and then maybe we can pounce on them, all right? So at the top of our list today, we have TSLL. We're on the 5-minute here. So yeah, we're just going to look for highs and lows, indecision prints, and this is what we kind of want to see. Gorb, I haven't seen you in the chat, nor have I seen Los Polios this morning. Jag, I've seen you, so happy. What's going on over there? NVDA, TSLL, new low, look for that indecision print. As for NVDA, a lot of sideways price action here, tapped into 191, which I thought was really cool. This was a beautiful print there on RGTI, but this is an aggressive breakout. Let's take a look at this name on a daily. Wow. Yeah, and there it goes, off to the races. We'll hop back onto that 5-minute time frame and go through a couple more names before we send it back to our boy here. SOX L looking pretty good as well, looking like it wants to break up. So that break on AMD, it's starting to come back into the top end of that range, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Indecision print at the highs, which is pretty cool. Now, as for QUBT, we'll look at this one. So the more parabolic it goes in either direction, either waterfall to the downside or to the top side, I'm looking for indecision prints. SoFi, not much going on over there, Shree.
All right, man, taking some more prints here on TSHA. But I'm taking out too much too quickly, and I really do happen to like the chart pattern. So I think, I'm going to add here, which is obviously going to change my cost basis fundamentally, but I do have a bias that this one does break up. I've seen way too many chart patterns to think differently here. So if it ends up going against me, it ends up going against me. We'll still have the same plan of DCAing at the volume weighted average price. So I just added there into the highs, which I'm fine with, because I'm going to go ahead and actually wait a little bit south over here for a possible add. We're going to wait at 49, see if we can get something in and around there. So that's what I'm looking at with respect to that one. DFLI continues to kind of zig and zag. It did get a price spike up into 83, so we wet the beak there, but it's having trouble continuing. We got 82s on at the moment. It's showing me lower highs, so it's getting price spikes off key areas, but the area crests are a little bit lower than their predecessors. So that means lower high, lower high, lower high to me. Now we've got shares on here, so we can certainly take some beak wetters along the way, but you just want to leave the majority of the position for the higher price levels. So that's what I'm trying to do over here. Let's see what YCBD did, because it just dropped in to the volume weighted average price. So I will get a little bit more into this one. Let's go ahead and add onto YBCD. If it loses 130, that's going to be the end of the trade. We're going to pause for a second, and we're going to send it to Adair for crypto.
We're going to talk here about a couple different catalysts and individuals today. Let's start here with Vlad Tenev. Vlad Tenev is, of course, the CEO and one of the founders here of Robinhood, and he made some comments yesterday at Token 2049. That's going to be the theme of this segment, going over some of the biggest things that were said and just comments of note here. So Vlad Tenov at Crypto 2049 said that tokenization is like a freight train that he thinks is going to eventually eat the entire financial system. Now, of course, we know Robinhood, as early as its To Catch a Token event earlier this year, has been trying to capitalize on and introduce and usher in even this new era of tokenization. We know they're trying to tokenize private companies. They tried to do that with OpenAI. Then we had OpenAI saying that, hey, we didn't approve this. So they could run into some regulatory issues, but at least in Europe, they're already starting this tokenization process. Let's see what happens going forward. For his part, Vlad Tenov says that he thinks major markets will, most of them, will have some kind of framework for this within the next 5 years, but it'll probably take about a decade to reach 100%. So no photo, I apologize, I'm going to pull it up right here. This is Donald Trump Jr. because he was also at Crypto 2049. So why am I bringing him up here? I guess there were some comments about, should we be investing in World Liberty Financial, or if you're investing, are you trying to seek favor with the Trump administration? He said that's not the case because it's not like his father's actually going through the blockchain. So interesting comments there from Donald Trump Jr. saying that there's really no reason to worry about impropriety or ethical concerns when it comes to World Liberty Financial. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin because Citigroup actually raises price targets for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they see Bitcoin ending the year at $132,000. For the record, current all-time high is just sitting just below $125,000. So it'd be about $7,000 beyond the all-time high, roughly $12,000 or 12,000, whatever, Bitcoins beyond where we're currently trading around 120,000. Now for Ethereum, they see Ethereum ETH at 4,500 at the end of the year. Now that's significant. It's basically already trading there right now, 4,400. So they're a little bit less optimistic here in Ethereum at Citibank than they are with Bitcoin. The other thing they said is 12-month target for Bitcoin, 181,000. Not so bullish with Ethereum, 12-month target of only 5,440, which is, again, just about 1,000 up from where we're currently trading. So Citigroup, long story short, bullish Bitcoin, a little bit not so bullish here on Ethereum. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Adara. Okay, finally, Joey, BTTC halted down for the first time on the day. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this is the 9th halt and the first down halt on the day. It still hasn't even gotten to 1 million shares because it's barely open. 775,900 shares traded on the day. We're gonna keep an eye on this one. It's up a ridiculous amount, 528%, and that's with the halt down. Now, on the way to making to halting down, it made another new high. So it did open up at around 30 bucks, a little bit less, and then moved up to 34.59 before catching a sell and then halting here, 28.98. It halted at 1132.28, and the top, excuse me, the theoretical auction price currently looking very, very ugly. $20.60. We halted, I will remind you, at 28.98. That obviously may change as the price action develops, but that is part and parcel of trading these ones. You got to be alive to that. We're doing it live right now on all of my trades, saving except for YCBD. We're nicely in the money after adding here on Tisha, and we've taken a few prints, and there's the other one at 75. So I'm glad we added here because I was almost exhausted with shares, but I was biased to the chart pattern that I'm seeing on TSHA. It's good. It's putting in higher lows. It's an extended bull flag with a higher low twist. So that's what's keeping me interested in this one. Looking for the next print there at 70 or 79, excuse me. So here comes 75. There's a seller at 75. Let's just continue to watch here and see if we can take out the seller at the $0.75. Probably not immediate. Also doing quite well on DFLI, multiple prints to the high side, and here we go again. We're moving into my order at 88. We're showing 87 3/4, 87 2/3 now, so we're not getting the clearing. Now we're at 88. We got a cross to get the print, so we'll pack our patience here, and shout out CD Lamb. See, hopefully we can get the print. We'll take it there, and then we'll just move it up a little bit. So we'll go 88. We'll go 89, actually. Ooh. I'm just going to move it up a little bit on that one. So good look here on DFLI. But as we're telling you about the good ones, we'll also tell you about the ones that are not working out. I had a bias here on YCBD that we are looking to accumulate for a flat top break into 140. It looks as if that flat top break may not happen or may not happen now. We're still above VWAP. So that's keeping me optimistic about the trade, and I did add into that volume weighted average price. Let's see if this one works back into that 140 area. We've got 138 on at the moment. Just before we send it back to Joey Options, just want to take a quick look over here. Where is that one? There it is. Tisha, we get the print at 79. Now this one's really moving up, so let's go ahead and wait now at 84s. We'll see if we can get something up there. The reason I'm choosing 84 is that is a new high. The day's high, is 483. So by definition, we'll have to print a new high to get that print. So those are the three I'm looking at. Obviously, should tell you that we're going to keep an eye here on BTTC. And by the way, the TAPS moved up $1.15 from when last we spoke, because it was about 20 bucks, Joey. So moving up a little bit here. We'll have to see if this one catches a bit.
All right, cool. Jack CW, yeah, let's take a look at this SanDisk Corp here for you. What's the move on the Mooner daily chart? And SNDK, bang. SanDisk, doo-doo-doo. No. All right, well, I'm sorry, it froze on us there, my friend.
Uh-oh.
We'll try on one more chart. SNDK, and if it doesn't work, then if it freezes another, I did it again, brother. Yeah, so sorry, I apologize about that. No, it's okay. Dude, we'll pull up on here for you, SNDK, because I am kind. All right, bang, let's see. Hopefully it doesn't freeze this for us. Now, as for the moon, oh, wow, yeah, this is really, really good look, man. This is a big-time move to the top side. I mean, yeah, it's looking really good, especially from September 4th, so a little bit under a month. Boom, the breakout, you punch through some key resistance levels, 50 bucks, and this thing is absolutely off to the races. You are experiencing a little bit of a pullback here, so just be careful for this to close as an inverted hammer. The weaker it is, and if you get an open up below, like 120 or where the open is here, around 121, then maybe you can get an additional fade. But yeah, that's a really, really nice move to the top side. Good call out there, my friend Jack CW. So yeah, we like that one. Maybe we'll look for an opportunity. I mean, this is what I want to see here, right? Like, I'm going to be talking about this throughout the whole day, because when the opportunity arises, we're going to have to take advantage of it. So we know that Tesla's been on a monster run for the past couple of weeks, right? So now you get the delivery numbers coming out better than expected, some great stuff. We like that. Now you're starting to sell the news. Now let's wait for it to continuously selling aggressively. And the more the volume picks up, the more momentum that picks up, I like it. Now, if it gets too weak, and we'll be able to identify that throughout the tape, we're not going to try to continuously force the long. But we will be patient, because I have a hunch. You know, when you have that gut feeling that buyers will step in at some point, I think that's going to be the case here today. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. May I be wrong? There's always the chance that you will be. But if we hop onto these lower time frames and I start to see more indecision, then I like my chances for a potential move back towards the volume weighted average price. And I think that would be a little bit of a stretch, but any form of bounce, we're going to be looking for that opportunity, all right? So that's what we got going on there. AMD still moving sideways on that one. We're going to head back to our scanner, run through a couple more names here to see if we can find any potential opportunities. I mean, IBIT, we were looking at that for not too long ago. Bang, you get that short signal right above the volume weighted average price. Okay. Palantir, a lot of overlapping candles here as well too, guys. We were talking about a little bit about the open interest on it the other day, so keep that in mind. 184, you have that indecision print as well too, in that neck of the woods. And then Joby, we know a couple people around here like Joby, trading pretty good on the intraday chart, opening up at around 1632, and then now you have a high of a day of around 1772, so not too bad of a look. Now the quantum space, we know is hot, slowly starting to cool down. That's OnQ. What's Baba up to? So yeah, we're just running through these names looking for potential setups, because we know what we look for. It's essentially irrelevant of what the price tag is, what the ticker symbol is. We're looking for price action prints that are going to work in our favor. And right now we're not seeing anything. So we'll sit on our hands. We had that nice IBIT short. We took a couple losses on Tesla, and we took a couple losses on AMD. So slightly red on the session, but nothing that we can't recover from, especially if we find a high quality setup there, Sharif.
Great look, Joey. Yeah, sorry, I was just setting up for something over here. Okay, so I'm keeping my eye. I've gotten to a new trade. CAN is the ticker. And let me explain why I got in. So this one had a bit of a nice looking bull flag, but it was a bit of a, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense when I say this, a bearish bull flag. What I mean by that is it had lower highs and lower lows, and then it broke trend, and that's why I'm involved. And here we go. It's looking to break out over here. That's what I'm setting up for the beak wetter at 130, and I've stacked my orders. So that's what I perceive this one to be doing. I'm talking about CAN. What happened to my, okay, what the hell? Here it is, found it. You double click on something and it just goes on whatever window you want. I know, SSC knows, glitching, but so that's what I see over here, a break of trend of the lower trend line and a possible move back up. So let's see if we can clear that 130 area. I've stacked my orders to catch a nice price spike up on CAN, up 24% and breaking trend, okay? There's still no prints on it, by the way, because we haven't crossed 130. I'm also keeping an eye, of course, on DFLI. I don't have much left on this one. Let's see if it can clear 88. I put my beak wetter there at 89, so that one still hasn't come into play. BTTC, we're going to cover for you guys, obviously. TSHA, we're long at 67s, best profit taker at 79s, but it's dropping back down now into 70. And remember, we added into this one, right, at the high. So we still have beak wetters here. We're going to have to de-risk a little bit in case this one does come down. Then I'm going to set up another profit taker for 75, even though I've wet the beak there before. Let's see if that one can make it right back up into said level. What else we got? YCBD, this one's still indetermined. It's not clearing the 140 and nor dropping below the volume weighted average price, so I don't have a move on this one other than to stay put for now. So yeah, that's my move on YCBD. Let me see if I'm taking prints here on CAN. Yes, the answer to that is yes. So good trend break on CAN. Now we're looking for 33s. It's showing me 32s. So we're looking for that next print here at 33. By the way, the high of the day on CAN is 35. So, you know, we're not exactly at the high of the day, but we're close. Bovin telling me CIGL is moving up. So let's have a look at CIGL. He was also telling me about Tron, TRON. Those are some Bovin specials on the day. Let's take a look at CIGL first. Okay, big breakout. This was moving yesterday, though, Bovin, at around 430. It's an aftermarket mover, either on news or earnings, and we are below both the aftermarket high as well as the pre-market high. So this one doesn't meet my criteria, Bovin. We've got to get above and stay above that 4 a.m. print, which is 563. That's the high in the pre-market. The official high of the day is the one that we just printed right now at 451. So it's not a bad look, man. You know, we're going to keep what I'll do is I'll throw an alert for, let's just say, $5 on this one. If it gets to $5, you know, gives me advance notice of that, you know, pre-market high, we'll get involved, or we won't get, at least we'll be ready. So that's what I wanted to look at right now. But Joey, I got to bring up something over here that's really important. Because obviously we need everybody to vote every day. Otherwise, we've got nothing to talk about on the afternoon rundown. And so, guys, please get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. Today, Tesla is leading the way. No surprise there with delivery numbers well ahead of consensus expectations and then some. You can make of whatever you want of the company. The fact of the matter is they came in ahead of consensus, whether you like it or not. Shout out to the dude there who was coming at Joey Options in the chat. 110 votes for this one. BTTC, 57 votes with Rigetti Mom's Spaghetti at 39. So get your vote in now. Let's see who's going to win the day. Hood is up there as well. Joey, Intel. Who else we got? We got Oklo. We got some usual suspects. AMD deservedly up there. DFLI. We got APLD, Lithium Americas, and of course OpenDoor, a perennial winner or a perennial, I guess, candidate on that. So get your votes in now, guys, and have your say every day.
Have your say every day. All right, guys. So, yeah, we're taking a little long here on the SPY to see if we can get a bounce. I like what I see on the 5-minute for a potential recovery here. So let's see if we can get some buying pressure to step right back in. Again, we're going to risk, what is that, 77s. We're at 35, so it's about 60, 70 cents or so. So, yeah, we're going to give it we don't want to go right at the lows. We want to give it a little bit more room. So you start really small. If we get the ability to crack this downtrend, then I think we might be off to the races. This is specifically the one I'm referring to. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Let's see if we can get this bounce. I mean, what a recovery that we got in Bitcoin. Bounced right down to 67.40. right near the highs again. Same with the likes of Ethereum. BMNR and MSTR are absolutely lagging, right? And these guys are supposed to be the leverage plays on that one. So yeah, let's continue to monitor some of these names. There goes AMD, genuine breakout. I'm surprised considering the volume profile was relatively cool, right? Like we didn't get that breakout volume that we would normally look for on when we're breaking down trends. So there it is, bang, holding the levels relatively well, even though you do come back into the middle of the range. Now you're starting to head back towards the top end of it. So, I mean, not too bad of a look there either. If there's anything specific that you guys want to go over, just put it in the chat and I'll be more than happy to do so. But in the meantime, let's go SPY. You ever look at SOL? No, but we're going to right now. Thanks for bringing it up. So Solana cryptocurrency, all right, bang. Yeah, I mean, I don't own this. I know Katina Man does. Sharif, I'm not aware if you do or anything along those lines.
Solana?
Solana,
no,
yeah.
I didn't get in. No.
Yeah,
no.
so no Solana over here. I mean, but you can't go wrong, right? Like this looks pretty good. You have a nice steady uptrend. Bang to the top side, continuously holding. Obviously, that's a rough sketch. I didn't put too much effort into that. So that's all you need to do. Like, that's the thing, though, here, Sharif. If you notice something like this, and I believe you said that, I think someone mentioned it yesterday. It was either you, Neil, or Sean. It's like, if it's that easy to depict what's going on, don't complicate it, right? Like, don't be like, all right, well, here, we got this here, but watch out for this going on over here. No, just stick to the trend and do what it's saying. If you can get on the lower end, then look to trade it. If it snaps, get out. Obviously, like I get it. Things are a lot easier said than done, but with trading, I've said this on multiple occasions, you can make it as complex as you'd like, or you can make it as simplistic as you like. And for me personally, I like to make things simple, all right? So that's just how I am. I'm not the smartest, I'm by far not the sharpest tool in the shed. So let's make things simple and make it easier on my life instead of having too many data points and having all this data and getting technical analysis paralysis and you're like, I got this, and that going. No, never mind all of that stuff. When you go to the veteran traders, and Sharif, someone remember the options guy when we went to the money show? He's like, he's like, after X amount of years, I don't even really care about indicators. I just use price. And that's exactly how I am, especially from charting from a daily. And you see my intraday charts, I have one indicator on there, and that's the volume weighted average price. I don't need the Fibonacci's. I don't need all those other things. Just one thing, I need price, the tape, and VWAP, and let that depict what my potential next move is going to be.
All right. Yeah, I agree with that, Joey. Tisha, TSHA, moved up right into my profit taker. Come on, bro. It goes into 484. That is the high of the day. It doesn't cross, obviously, so we don't get the print, but it's coming a little bit back down now. I was worried about this one, I'm not going to lie, because I was worried about making a newer low through 460. It ended up holding, though, in the low 60s. I think 463, 464 was the area low. But there goes Canada. Boom, right through. Obviously, it's not called Canada, but it's CAN. So, yeah, we'll just go with that. Let's go ahead and set up now at 36s. Did we get 35s? No, we didn't. So we'll get 35s and 36s. Let's go ahead and set up a little bit more as well at 37s. Yeah, that's the nature of trading penny stocks. That's kind of what they do, right? You're taking profits at every single penny. Not every single penny, but the stock can. Shout out to Hangry Wife. I see you. I see you, sir. Or whatever. Let's see if this one can continue to go up. What the high of the day is, we're at the high of the day. So we printed that one right now, but we had also touched it at 945 and 950. We haven't been, though, above 135. So if we clear 135, that'll be a new high of day on CAN. But there goes Tisha back into 84s, and we get the print this time at 84. Happy with this trade, especially since we added at the highs, but the chart pattern was the deciding factor of whether we add or not. So look, now we're going to take profits at 95s, but guess what? We're going to look to add again onto this one because it's continuing to stair step up in an orderly way, and there's a new high of day. Into 86 we go on TSHA. It's not rocketing up in the way that BTTC was, but predictable higher highs, higher lows. Get it, Tisha. And I'm just chuckling in the chat. Because, I mean, come on. She's a small cap trader extraordinaire. Tisha Perkins in the chat. And, you know, come on. There's a ticker. It would be like if I was trading CHER. You know what I mean? Like, it'd just be very apropos. So I like it. I like it. All is well in the world, Joey, now that that has happened. I'm playing, of course. We're holding a little bit here on DFLI. It's still, you know, not really touching that 90 penny area again, but it's also not giving up the 10 EMA. But I also want to mention John Del Segno calling out a great trade, RCAT. Shout out to the OG John. He's been calling this one out for a while, and this is having a great day right now. RCAT into the highs, 1152. This one's already earned its way onto the side chart. We just have to throw it onto the watch list so we can get live updates. Yeah, great. I want to say flat top break, but not really. It's a big, nice move above 1120. We rejected 1120 around 1010, and then we rejected it again at around a little after 1130, but that was the last time we were going to reject it because now we're clearing it, and we're clearing it by some distance. 1120 breakout. Now it is an 1157 HOD on RCAT, up 10 1/3. You know, RCAT's not technically a small cap gapper. If you want to use it, use the definition in the strict sense, it is $1.33 billion. They're a Puerto Rican-based provider of product, service, and solutions for the drone industry, a very in play and a very in vogue industry right now, as sadly belligerencies around the world continue to kind of manifest there, Joey. So what do you got, my man?
Yeah, good look there, man. We're about to piece a little bit out there right on the SPY. As we crack through that downtrend, we want to be cautious of anything that starts to come against us. So bang, we take 20% off right there. Nice work there, Tony. Now, as for my guy, Malcolm Aldridge, my friend, I could look at Lyft for you, but you got the Yankees logo in your display picture. And the Jays might be playing them, folks. So watch out.
They tied it up yesterday.
They tied it up. They tied it up. Yeah, I mean, they tied up the series. You got one more game, so the Jays could be playing the Yankees. So I don't know if I want to go over Lyft for you, but I am kind, so I will do that. I'm only joking with you anyway. LYFT. Yeah, I'm kind, so we'll go over those things. I am kind. There it is. Just shout out to Xerxes, obviously. Bang. The Persians, brother, the Persians. So there it is. You're starting to form a little bit of a wedge here. That's not bad, right? So there is some defense going on at that 2185 level. We can look at the options chain for you as well, too, to see if we got any specific open interest. But as for the daily, you can't really go wrong. Just keep an eye out for that 2127. I think to note with gaps is that you've already filled about 30-40% of this. You might get a little bit more. I don't know if it's going to be a completely like a complete gap fill, but if it isn't and you see price start to turn around, I think you're off to your merry way. As for those August lows, that's a nice move. $13 all the way up to the peak of around 23, 24 bucks. You get 78%. I mean, Uber's moving as well too. So I like Lyft. I like what Uber and Lyft have got going on, so that's not too bad of a look there, my friend Malcolm Aldridge. So yeah, so now we're really starting to cook here in the SPY. Let's see if we can get this break. There it goes, bang. Bitcoin, new high of the day. I don't even care about my trade at this point, Sharif. It's this bad boy right there, 68.21. Oh. I mean, the all-time high on iBit is roughly around $70. So we're only about a buck and almost $2, just a little bit under $2 away from that. So let's rock and roll. Let's piece another one out on the SPY here. And there it is, bang. We get that insta-fill because this is the most liquid asset out there, whether it be options and or shares. We love this. We like what we got going on SPY. Continue the move on the crypto space. Let's go.
All right, Joey, guess what? BTCC halted again, but this time to the upside. It did open up at, pardon me, the opening price there. It looks like it was 22 1/3 in and around. It did drop down and test. I want to say 2060 is the current 5-minute candle low, and now it is halted again at 24.48. Having halted at 11:53.19. Last time around, I believe it was a 20-minute halt. So we'll see what this one ends up being. But trade it carefully, guys. I mean, I know it's showing a lot of potential for reward here, but there is an equal amount of potential for risk and danger because you never really know when these ones will turn around. In any event, it is halted to the upside now and a good move. So we're gonna keep covering this one for you because it's up 431%, and it is an IPO. So that's the look there. On Tisha, we went the beak at 84, dropped back down into 75, and now I'm looking for a continuation move up. It's been straddling, TSHA, straddling the 10 EMA on the 5, and in a very strict way. So I'm very confident adding into this one on another move down. Currently, the 10 EMA on my chart anyway is around 68 or 69. We'll see what this one does. But there goes Canada again, CAN to the high side. And we take prints there as well. We got shares on this one too, guys, by the way. Yeah. Well, you know, it's $1.34, Joey, so or 36. So we can size up substantially. But waiting next over here at 37s, we did wet the beak at 36. So we're going to go ahead and wait now at 38 and 39. We're going to take profits at every single penny. CAN looking real good. This is a new high of day by virtue of the fact that it printed 36. It is a new HOD. Now, the deal is we're in at 29s, right? So anything below 28 ends a trade for me. And I don't say that because I'm in at 29, but take a gander over here. Area rejection in a 29, another area rejection, another one, and then finally, the candle that I got into, we continue on our merry way. So if it loses that level, it loses trend and it ends the trade for me. So that's all I'm looking for there. What else? I ended my trade, guys, on DFLI because it is losing trend. If it comes back into the volume weighted average price at around 81.5, where's my DFLI trade? There it is. At around 81.5, possibly I could be a buyer there. I'll have to see. I'll have to like what I see at those levels, put it that way, okay? So I'm not going to make a decision quite yet. But it is this trade, YCBD, the one that I was most bullish on, ironically enough, ends up being the one that is giving me the most trouble. I had a bias on this one that it was putting in higher lows with a flat top into 140. To me, typically that just means flat top break. That's not what happened here. In fact, it started rounding, putting in lower highs, and then now finding support at the volume weighted average price. But it's kind of flipping the script on me. In the same way that I was biased that this one was putting in higher lows with a flat top for that flat top break, I'm almost seeing the opposite now, where we're getting lower highs with that same area support, which could be a flat bottom break. And I don't want to be on the wrong side of this one, Joey, because, well, guess what? I'm not short, I'm long. So we'll have to wait and see how this one does, but I do have my line drawn in the sand south of 130 because that is the area of support we couldn't clear. Now, you're going to say to me, Sharif, well, why don't you just add into that 130 area since that's your level of resistance, previous area of resistance now in as support? Well, that's a great question. It breaches my rules because the volume weighted average price is at around 134. So I'd rather not breach my rules. I'd rather just get in if it reclaims the volume weighted average price. We'll have to see how this one goes. We're going to have to pause for a second. Adara's got news.
DJT really strong in a market that hasn't been the strongest. Unclear if this is why, but we just popped to new highs. We've seen comments coming from Vladimir Putin of Russia. There's been, some geopolitical Russia-related comments all day. But the thing he just said was the conflict in Ukraine could have been avoided if Trump had been president. This is something that Trump himself has said many times. I don't know if that's why DJT is popping here, but it is worth noting the timing of this is pretty interesting. Decent candle there on DJT, Trump Media and Technology Group. Neil's not here today, so we're not going to do the happening now or the lesson of the day, but just stay tuned. There are tons of infographics coming your guys' way, including another one on the shutdown very soon, so I'll be keeping you guys apprised. Back to you.
Thank you, there. How's that Jimmy Carter thing doing?
Oh, I released it last night. I can show you. You're doing fine, Sharif. Everyone who's not me is doing really well. I'll just pull it up right here.
Hold on,
Here you go.
Adara. Did you see ASML today?
Yeah, ASML is gapped up today like crazy. I've meant to look at that today. I need to look at that now.
No, you might have a mean reversion on that bad boy, by the way.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, it takes off the open. I think the trade was...
All that
Pull
was
up the
missing
thing,
was a
Adara.
chair push back there, girl.
Yeah, see, well, I already knew it gapped up because I looked this morning, but, I will push back at that reversion because that was great off the open. All jokes aside, you are now up 7.8%.
Yeah, I'm in Greensville.
You are, and
Joey's
you are
ahead of me?
You're doing well. This total is like the average of everybody's return, so on average, the group is up 24%.
Yo, I'm the worst performing
and I am
one.
down 4%. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Yeah,
I'm coming.
Can't catch a
baby,
break,
I'm
bro.
coming.
I thought I'd be up.
Ooh,
We're not.
you're
We're
up 7%. The thing is, I'm not outpacing the NASDAQ. You're not. The only one really who is Neil and Sean.
And Brendan.
Oh, and no, he's at 18.
18%. What is
Year
the
to date?
NASDAQ?
Yeah, bro. What do you mean? It's like 20%.
The Qs?
Yeah.
How are we actually?
Yeah.
18 and 2/3.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Exactly.
So maybe we got to be 18 and 2/3.
Yeah, so I guess Brendan's right there.
There you go,
Good
bang,
call,
right
good
there.
call,
So
Joey.
he's right there. He's in line with the old market ski, which isn't too bad. Hey, as for our guy, that lift breakout looks like it's going to come into play there, so that's not too bad of a look there either. So bang, 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 bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
That's a pretty good flat top break right there. Wedge, higher, lower highs there. Or sorry, what am I looking for? Higher lows. That's it. Those ones always confuse me for some reason. Yeah, just in case anybody hears that there is some construction obviously going on in the back, as you guys are well aware. But there it is. On the SPY, bang. Do we take our last out there at this peak? I think so. We reject. Ooh, it's too late now. So we're going to have to wait for another breath to come up here. 668.30. We're going to take that last little bit out there, but a nice little grab off of the lows. BTC touching 120K, and you're not in IBIT. I know, Nimit, I know. Yesterday I missed the rally yesterday, and today it's moving pretty good as well too. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to get involved in it. You're not wrong, but I do know somebody who has a couple contracts, just not intraday. I haven't been trading it the past couple of days. So yeah, let's wait for another touch. Maybe we get that volume weighted average price rejection one more time. But if we do head into that specific level, last little bit, we're out of there. You called it on AMD. Why didn't you jump in? I haven't seen AMD right now. What's it up to? I mean, I was sure. Oh, wow. Oh, my days. This is crazy. Yeah, there it is, like big time breakout, right? But the thing is, though, I was thinking short. I took 2 short attempts. I did have the initial long off of this candle, came back to my break even, didn't like it. But look at the volume profile, really starting to pick up, and that's what you want to see for that breakout. So it was slightly lagging, but it eventually stepped in, and that's some big time moves. And there goes Ethereum, 33.61 on ETHA, new high of the day not too long ago. Really good look. Wait for Bitcoin to catch up. MSTR and BMNR are crapping the bed right now, so those leverage products not looking too good, Shreve.
All right, Joey. We're holding everything the same. Nothing changes on the position, so nothing to alert you guys on why CBD continues to be the dog that it has been, still putting in lower highs. I'm still of the same opinion on this one, but TSHA continues to do quite well. It's working right back in to that 85 penny area. I didn't quite add, sadly, at the 10 EMA, and it actually held up strictly at the 10 EMA. And here we go. We're 83s. We're coming into 86s. So let's keep an eye out on that one. And separately, I'm still holding CAN for a nice move up into that 137 area. We did get 136, is showing now 135. I was worried about a possible double top at this area. As you'll recall, we did reject 135 initially at around 950, but I think we'll see if we can kind of get that continuation through. I'm talking about CAN, but I'm keeping an eye now on a new name, BQ. Now this is on the Amex. And just, by virtue of the exchange off which it trades, I'm going to be a little bit careful with. But this is what I liked about it. The flat top break, higher low, higher low, higher low, all across. And that 12.5, you can make an argument between 12 1/3 to 12 1/4 was the flat top break. And there you go, a big move up now into 1286. So you do get that flat top break. So what prevented me from punching into this? The spread. Look at it. 40 on the bid, 85 on the ask. It's a 45 penny spread on a $12 name. I said to myself, look, the chart pattern looks fantastic, but can you realistically manage risk using your methodology? And I answered, obviously, in the negative, because otherwise I'd be in. And here it is, in at 13. So I'm happy that we actually covered this while the breakout was happening in real time, because there it is, 1293 area high. I think the current high of the candle, though, is almost at that 13. In fact, it is 1296 now. Great look there. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. Gotham House telling me ONDS. We'll cover that one as soon as we get back from Joey.
Yeah, wow, AMD. All right, looking for a futures trading platform that actually delivers without hitting costs. With plus 500 futures, you get free live charts. transparent fees, low margins, and an unlimited demo so you can practice until you're ready to trade live. Open an account and start with trading with as little as $100, guys. Listen, $100, that's pretty good. With Plus 500's powerful platform, you can access a wide range of futures markets, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, gas, Forex, metals, crypto, and more, all in one place. Plus, enjoy a welcome bonus of up to 200 big ones in commission-free trading. Just scan the QR code on the screen to apply for your account today. Join over 30 million users worldwide who have already chosen Plus 500. Go check it out. Go check that one out there. Yeah. Ooh, whoa. Take a step back now, all right? Relax, everybody. Look at this move here. Punch through that 165, and then now you're just absolutely off to the races. What a beautiful base being formed on AMD, and then you get that breakout through that. You gap up, gap and go play. That is some really, really pretty stuff there. We like what AMD's been doing up on the day, and then I mean, in the likes of NVDA, we tapped into 191 today. That's some big time stuff as well. But we're moving the oppo of that. That is the opposite of that. So keep that in mind. Boom, downtrend there. We have that flat bottom. So you have the support levels. With that being said, you know what we're going to do here now, guys? Let's take a look what the chain has been up to and see if that's telling us anything definitive on the likes of advanced money duplication today, because that's exactly what it's doing. So bang, 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 15 days, October 17th expiration cycle. Yeah, thank you for that one, Assassino. Let's see what we got going on here, folks. So where do we got the most in? 170. 170 at the money. All right, that's some beautiful stuff. We didn't have that on the old options activity this morning now, did we? Let's see. Yeah, we did. I was being a little sarcastic there, but I guess someone caught on. But yeah, in all seriousness, it's looking really, really good. And then you head up to 180 there, Sharif. You got 10,000 contracts that have been closed already on the session, and then you have 19,400 that are still open up in that 180. And if we go down to this level right there, that's nothing. That's small potatoes. I think we can absolutely run through that. I'm going to keep an eye on when I got to have AMD on up here. So yeah, it's a really good look. 171 we tap into there on AMD. So a really, really good look in this name. And that's an absolute beautiful breakout almost. Picturesque, I guess we can call it there, Sharif.
1 sec.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're still doing your thing there?
Yeah,
right, for sure.
I don't really get how... Okay, I'll have to discuss it after. But
no worries. So
yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
So as for NVDA, guys, what was our high of the day? 191, and then you can see at 2 halves and 190 right here. We do have a substantial amount of volume and open interest on that, so you can see it starting to be rejected, and that's why we look for these call and put walls, right? So it's like, hey, okay, you may exceed them a little bit, but if they're really substantial and aggressive, you're going to see the rejections of them. We've made Gaurav and I don't know if Los Pollos was participating in that one, but Gaurav and I made a monster trade on NVDA last week, just going off of one our VPA signals and then correlating that with the options chain, and that gave us the ultra green light to go, and I'm glad that we both got to participate in that because it was lots of fun, and it tanked more. We hit our target, and we were all out at target, and it continued to move to the downside, which is some phenomenal stuff. The power of those three together can put you in some high probability opportunities, and that's what we want to do.
Just before we go to Adair, guys, this BQ1 is breaking out. So that flat top break through 12.5 is really getting going. It started showing a halt parameter. It's going to break through 15, so 12.5 to 15 in just a matter of minutes. But guys, it's a very wide spread, so be careful. And it's on the MX exchange. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Okay, Humana literally shooting up here. HUM with volume too, almost 1 million shares traded in this one candle alone, which is significant for this type of stock. Not seeing any news on Humana. Someone on X saying apparently that the Medicare Advantage star ratings data came out. I'm not seeing anything to confirm that. Yesterday we had some Medicare plans coming out. As you can see, that was not a good look for a Humana stock. So if I get any more definitive details on HUM, I will let you know. I am still searching, but it is worth noting that it is very strong and nicely well above its previous high of day now. Back to you.
Thank you, Adira. All right, ONDS is moving as well, guys. I told you I'd cover that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that, guys. So I just got this now. Apparently, Humana confirmed its EPS guidance, and that's why this is up. They also acknowledged their weak Medicare Advantage star ratings, but they also said their margins are likely to double in 2026, and return to the top quartile by 27. So forward guidance here for H2M seems to be what's pushing this higher. Sorry for the interruption. Back to you.
Of course, Adair, keep us updated. But this is the chart on ONDS. Fantastic breakout and a 934 high, showing 922 at the moment, up 26.5%. Not a bad one. Good volume on this one, I should mention as well. About 67.2 million shares traded so far, but it is a $3 billion name, so it's not strictly a small cap gapper. So make sure you're trading it as such, okay? I like this possibly off $9. Couple of reasons I feel that way. Number one, obviously the whole dollar psychological support. In addition to that, it does have price action resistance there during the implied balance open into $9. Rejects, drops back down to $8.50. Also, the 10 EMA currently is at 9. So a dip trade on into $9 on ONDS likely gets me into the trade. We're going to throw an alert on this one so we kind of get a little bit of an advance notice into 907 or so. It's just really who I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off GDXD because I'm unlikely to want to trade anything to do with gold. So we'll just throw on ONDS, even though, again, it's not strictly a small cap gapper, but we're going to give it a look or two because it is warranted to do that. It's trading similar to one at the moment. So that's my look there. How about all the other trades that I've got on at the moment? TSHA. How we do it, well, DFLI is coming back up, but I want to see if this one makes another area high. But anyway, TSHA moving right back up, another hold off the 10 EMA. Let's see if this one continues to go. We got 67s on there because we added initially in at 60. I think I'm going to add here again, but a smaller amount. For that move possibly into 95s. We did top out with another high a day there at 86s, but it's just holding the 10 EMA strictly. So we definitely need to ride the trend with this one until it's not warranted to do so anymore. But really, this is the trade that I missed, man. BQ. I just didn't want to get in because it was an unreasonable spread. Okay, but it's really rocketing up, man. 15.5 from a 12.5 break and in a straight line. I mean, it took 2 5-minute candles to get there, but we're coming back down now into 14.5. I don't have any support levels until about 13 1/3, 13.5, and I likely won't punch in either because nothing's changed about the spread on this one. So that's a look. YCBD continues to be the dog, still trending down, but holding above my level. So I'm going to continue to watch this and see if it does stop me out. We got 38s currently showing me 34s. ONDS needs its own trading screen over here. So we're going to take off BTTC and put on ONDS because I'm likely not going to trade anything about BTTC. We'll continue to cover it, of course, for those who are. But ONDS, as I mentioned, I'm a buyer in and around 9. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to throw in an order to front run 9, by the way. So we're going to go at 907. We'll see if we can get something in and around there. If we can, we'll manage that one. So those are the ones, Joey. We've got 3 trades on at the moment. They're all doing okay except YCBD.
Okay, right on there, my brother. Let's see what we got going on. Do we reload here on the SPY for maybe a potential continuation to the top side here? And as for Tony, I don't see Tesla ready to turn around just yet, right? So just keep that in mind. So again, we'll go to the lower time frames. We'll head over to the 1 minute and see what we can find. But we're not seeing those indecision prints that we're looking for. Now, what exactly am I looking for? Let's get in more depth with that. It's the exact same thing. Again, nothing is 100%, but we head over to the SPY. It's not what? Okay, it's on the 5 minute. Oh, sorry, it's on the 5 minute. Sorry, yeah, sorry for that dramatic pause. So this is what I'm looking for essentially here, right? Like, bang, this is what we went long off of. Is that like? Again, nothing works 100% of the time, but you have to take the attempts, and obviously you can't catch all of them. It's not as easy as it may sound, but once you have the ability to identify them, like the likes of Gorev and Los Polios, from when I first came on here, these guys were like picking them, like so whatever. But now they're just blowing me out of the water. Like, bang, we found it here. We're in AMD. We're doing all this. We're doing all that. And I'm like, man, guys, fantastic work. That's exactly what we want to see. And I love trading with those guys because they know exactly what to look for, and we have a good time with that one. So there it is, bang, SPY. I think I'm going to just go a small reload here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to give it the risk to 667 bucks, 68 cents. That's going to be our risk. We're going to put the reload on and look for that move back towards the volume weighted average price. If it doesn't get there, then so what? We'll take a little bit of a loss on those, but we'll still be green on the name. And there you go. You get a nice little pop right off the jump. So I like hopping in things and it working out immediately. That's a positive sign sign. We are patient enough to wait for the pullback, and then now let's see what's going. Wow, UNH, Adaram, you might be catching ground here real quick because that's one of your picks, isn't it? Lily and UNH over here. Oh, she's not here? Okay, so there it is. Bang, another big-time move. It's just... And we know some individuals who are buying off the lows as well. So a big-time recovery. And we talked about this gap fill as well. So that's looking pretty good. We like that one there. Oh, no, don't do this. Do not do this, crypto space. That would happen. This was exactly what happened yesterday. If it prints, we have to take the trade. Right? So bang, look at this. We're at an extreme high. You punch all the way up to 68.40. Now you're starting to see the selling pressure step in. But what is that also correlated with? The volume. Where did we see this yesterday? Exact same thing, essentially, right? So it's just going back to the exact same. Look at the correlation. Volume at an extreme high, you get the print, and then you get that move all the way back down to the volume-weighted average price and even south of it. So if that happens here today, we're going to just look to execute on the exact same situation and see if it works or does not work out, Treve.
All right, man. It is the BQ show right now. Fantastic breakout on this one. Where is it at? Right back into another area high, 1595. Widespread or not. In fact, it's tightening up. 51 on the bid, 36 on the ask now. It's opening up at times, and there it goes into 1586. It looks like it wants to take out 16 each and every single candle. From that breakout candle at 12 o'clock has higher lows. We're working our way into that $16 area. Great strength right now on BQ. This one seems like the one that may want to hit triple digits. I know we got BTTC, but that's more of an IPO. This is a kind of an organic small cap gapper right now. It looks like we're accumulating for that $16 break and take as the buyers step in quite aggressively. And there we're showing 16, and there goes 16 into 1636. The break is on now. 71%, 16 and a half. This is really going 16 and 2/3. It's going to hit 17 any minute now. Looking to show a halt parameter at 67s. We will halt at 67s if it stays this way for about 8 more seconds. Let's see if the buyers can keep this bad boy staying up and not dropping down. Who's going to overwhelm who here? It looks like it will be a halt. There's the gray out. We are halted to the upside on BQ. What a breakout through 12 and a half. Oh my goodness, that was a missed opportunity. But hey, you can't just feel bad because it didn't fit the rules, right? The criteria wasn't there. In any event, this is on the Amex network. And because of that, we're not going to be able to see the theoretical auction price during the halt. We'll only be able to tell you that, you know, it likely will open up this time or that time, but we're going to have no idea about whether there's a buy or a sell imbalance during the halt. So 1667, the halt level, 12:16:06, the halt time. So at earliest, we will be open at 12:21:06. We'll see if it opens up around then or what the situation is. So we'll keep tabs on that. Separately, I added into TSHA again for the 3rd time, and we just took a print there to the high side. So let's go ahead at 85s. So let's go ahead and throw some more beak wetters on there. There's a seller at 85s now showing me 86s. Can we get good continuation? 87s now showing up. There's 88s. There's the print. It's 89s now. Now we're waiting at 95s. Good look today on TSHA.
Oh.
And that's just the kind of, I really want to use TSHA as an example here of not everything has to be insane in small cap gapper world. It doesn't have to be like BQ or BTTC. See how, I don't want to say it's calm and it's not volatile, but it's not bamboozling.
It's steady
highs.
No, way to churn there, man. That's how you
know what I
churn.
mean?
That's how you churn right there. So
Methodical. Very methodical, says Obi.
Very
and
methodical there, man.
I have to agree with that.
I didn't even know Obi was sitting there.
Oh, he's there, boy. He was telling me Bitcoin 120, my boy. I heard him as soon as he sat down. He was calling out Bitcoin.
My boy.
So yeah, that's a look right now. We're going to keep tabs on TSHA. We're also holding, of course, a little bit of a position on CAN, and we're waiting for a dip trade here on ONDS. We'll have to see if that materializes. CAN we're holding over here, Joey, at 29 coming down.
Days. Oh, all right, we're going to hop into this ad. Actually, no, we'll go to the ad first, and then we'll take a little bit off there on the SPY. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs offering 3x bull and 3x bear exposure to the S&P and TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special free rebate. dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st, 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indices. If you're a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out more at betapro.ca. 3x leverage right there. All right, bang. This is what we want to see. Way to go on the reload there on SPY. I liked our chances. Boom. Let's see if we can get a better price here on this one. I don't want to. I'll take the market. Bang. And there it is. Yeah, so not too bad of a look here there on the SPY. We grab it off of the lows. We wait for that pullback. We get involved. We reload the position. And then now we're just rocking and rolling right now. So let's stock and roll, baby, and see what we can do on that one. This pivot is key, 668. Let's see if it can punch through that. And I think we'll have the opportunity to potentially break through the volume weighted average price at this point, considering that the TQs is at that specific level. So not too horrible of a look. Now we're going to go back to this name. It's breaking out. We're going to be talking a lot about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies throughout our session. And there it is. You have that volume and you're struggling to punch through that wick high. So we're going to be a little bit more patient. If we do break the lower end of the body first, then maybe we'll get involved in a potential short back to VWAP and Bitcoin, Sharif.
I just want to remind everyone, guys, the morning note now available to YouTube subscribers of basically our channel. So every morning this is going to get sent, well, it's not sent out, it's posted for all those that want to use it. Basically, it's one story per page. So we're going to have the Taiwan pushback against the 50-50 semiconductor push by the Trump administration, or how about Uncle Warren buying OxyChem from Occidental for $9.7 billion. You don't just get the story, but you get 3 areas of support, 3 areas of resistance, the details of the story in different categories, as well as your trader takeaway. That's both for intraday and swing traders. And the good news about this one is if a story doesn't interest you, just go right to the next page. Tesla Q3 deliveries preview. You had basically all the different ranges here, 443,000 all the way up to 470, with the most ambitious being Tory Test-like with 481. It ended up coming higher than all of them. In any event, the only way to get this is to become a YouTube subscriber of our channel. So let me show you exactly how that's done. You weasel on over to Trader TV. And there's our stream. And then right under there, you're going to see that join button. You hit that join. $4.99 Canadian a month, and there's Brendo with the introduction video there. $4.99 Canadian per month, which is, I mean, that's pretty. It's a pretty good deal there.
It's going to be the cheapest sub.
Here's how you'll find it. So if you're already a subscriber, guys, this is how you're going to find it. You're going to go to the YouTube homepage for Trader TV, and then this is the regular homepage. Right under posts, you're going to click posts right there. And there it will be, right there, morning market brief. You hit read more, and then you get that. There's the link right there. You hit that, and then boom, it appears right on your screen. If you're not a subscriber, you will not see this post over here where it says morning market brief. You will not see it. You'll see the others, but that one will be hidden to you. So subscribe today. Get it sent to you guys every morning. The Katina Man's using it. Neil's using it. Joey's using it. We're all using it. We're going to be using it for the new segment that will be starting in about 20 minutes. So if you want to have that sent to you guys, make sure you're subscribed.
Oh.
Joey, BQ is halted yet again to the upside. BTCC took the afternoon off, but no worries. BQ filling in its place, working its way up almost to 100% now, 93, almost 94%, halted 1856. Very spready, very dangerous name, but keep your eye out on this one if you like small cap gappers as it works its way up into that $20 area. Oh man, the memberships are coming in fast and furious. Shout out to Johnny Y, new member. We got Trader TV Live #1 as a new member. Andy Henry, welcome Andy. Make sure to get the watch list every single morning. It is there at the YouTube homepage. Shout out to everybody in the chat, and thanks for everyone who signed up yesterday, guys. What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, some fantastic stuff. All right, guys, so we got all out. We got stopped out break even right on the SPY, considering you have shares here. Boom, boom, boom. You have that reload. It moves your average up, and then you just get all out when it comes back to that break even. So, yeah, not a bad reload. We'll take it off. We'll take some off at the peak, so we like that one. I'm reloaded. Now, as for the IBIT trade, same thing as yesterday. I'm looking for a repeat offense sense here. Had that topping signal at the highs, had the volume supporting it, so our probability is in our favor. Now it's just a matter of time to see if it works or not. Listen, I would be more than happy if this thing decided to go absolutely nuts and touch into an all-time high today, this evening, over the weekend, whatever it may be. Even though I'm sitting here short from an intraday standpoint, I'm totally cool with that. If it blows that top off, then I like our chances of heading up even higher there, $68.60, $69 on IBIT there. And let's take a look at the chain, because if we have anything around 70, it's done. It's official.
Oh.
It's official, just like that. But no, we don't, unfortunately, Sharif. Yeah, 10 days. We'll go to the next expiration cycle. There it is, right? All right, so that's going to be the largest size, right? We can come back towards this expiration cycle. We're not seeing anything along those lines in the higher strike prices, especially at that $70. That's now been rotated over to the next week expiration cycle with 35,000 contracts traded, and then you have 15,000 contracts still currently open. So I like our chances of running into $70 and potentially breaching the all-time high there on Bitcoin by the weekend, and then you come in Monday morning, bang, bang, bang. Okay, yeah, wow, this is getting even more interesting, Sharif. What's up with this October 17th expiration cycle? Because you have 140,000 contracts at that $70 strike price. So I like our chances of running into 70. Now, as for going north of 70, we might run into some trouble. So that'll put us a little bit north of 124K on Bitcoin. But this is alarming. This is what we're looking out for all my options traders. I know Rivian's in the chat. I haven't seen Pug Life in a while, and everybody else who's involved in the leverage derivatives. This is what we want to look for, right? Because it's either one thing's going to happen, you have all these contracts outstanding, we can either rip to the top side, or we would just reject aggressively and head a little bit more south. And then that's when we go over to our puts and look for an additional support level, which we can find on the open interest as well too. So keep an eye out on that one. Let's head right back to our scanner here, guys, on the day and see what we got going on. Who's leading the way? Still TSLL with 161 million shares being traded. We're waiting for this bottom. Patience, patience, patience. And Tendy's Hunter. Yeah, all right, so there you go, bang. I'm assuming you're looking for the exact same things as you mentioned it. So if not, please put it in the chat on what you are specifically looking for on the options chain. If you do play the rejections of call walls and the bounces off of put walls as well, I'm intrigued to know what you got going on. Rivian continuously selling. RKT, Katina Man was involved in this, and we see some options activity at that $20 level, $20.50. MARA, can it pull up? Pull up, yeah, okay, so there it is, another indecision print off of those highs. So you break 1927 and you head right into those lows, so not a horrible look. NU Holdings, bang, not too liquid, right? So you can see some barcode going on, even though it's put in 22.5 million shares. It's a little sticky, and if you head into the 1 minute time frame, you're gonna see more liquidity issues, and there it is, bang, it's the barcode algo type price action. Wolf, okay. Not Wolf Speed. This is TerraWolf. Not too bad of a look there, Sharif.
Sorry, 1 second, Joe.
Yeah, no worries. I'll continue. I can stock and roll all day, baby. Yeah, so I mean, that's what you guys got going on. SoXL, yeah, I know it was looking pretty good. I'm pretty sure on the session. Let's see what it's up to. See that if NVDA decides that it would like to participate, I think this can even climb a little bit higher. Yeah, no worries. Whenever you're ready, man.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay,
just sending something to Brendo.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that wedge starting to be formed. Let's see which way NVDA decides to break there, Sharif.
All right, Joey. Continuing to watch here. So I've gotten into ONDS. For the pullback into 9. So I front ran it a little bit, got in at 11s, already wet the beak on a price spike up into 16s, but it's still putting lower highs and lower lows. It's a 5 candle red setup right now off that 934 high, coming in to key technical areas. Why I say that? Because you got possibly psychological support at 9. In addition, you have a price action resistance at 9. That was the 10 a.m. price spike there during the implied balance open. In addition to that, the 10 EMA is a little bit ahead of 9 now. It's showing 907s. So let's see how this one does. I'm keeping my eye on it quite thoroughly. We'll see if it continues along its merry way to the downside or whether it catches a bit of a bid. Now, CAN, we did well on this one, but it is losing trend a little bit over here. It was finding support at 132. It's losing the 10 EMA, and it looks like it's going to breach 130. Now, the deal is we're long 129. So I'm going to stop out at 129. If it does price, actually, I'll give it to 128. We're going to go 128, just to give it a little bit of distance for the last remaining amount. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. Those are the trades that I've got on. I'm looking really for ONDS to continue to move up. I do have a contingency for this one. If it does dip down into 9, I want to get a little bit more. Otherwise, we're going to put profit takers possibly here to the high side into around 18s, and then we'll wait in the low 20s as well. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on there. What else we got over here? BQ still halted. Sorry. BQ still halted to the upside. 1856. We're not going to be able to see what this one is showing in terms of a theoretical auction price as a result of it trading on the Amex. But it did halt at 12:21.35. It is currently, what time is it right now? It is currently 12:29.20. So the earliest will be open is 12:31.35. I believe the prior halt was 5 minutes. So prior halt was 5 minutes doesn't mean that this current halt will be 5 minutes. So let's keep tabs on that, and we'll see what we get. Corey, your friend Joey just got up, but thank you very much, my friend, for the $10 super chat. I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to him. That way, if he comes back, and your message is gone for whatever reason, he'll be able to answer it anyway, so we're going to send that to him right now. Thank you, Corey, for that. But it says, Joe, my guy, I need a lesson. Can you explain why the March 20th EA call options seem unbalanced? $200 call value at 8.10, $220 at 2.20, $220 at $2.20, but $210 value only at 65 cents. This doesn't make sense. What the hell? Yeah. Look, brother, I didn't understand most of that, so you're going to have to wait till your friend Joey Options weasels back onto the scene. I'm sure he'll have an answer for you momentarily. All right, back to ONDS. We do get a price spike up, and we do wet the beak in the high teens. Now we're going to keep an eye on that low 20s print. Let's go with another print up here in the high 20s. Let's see if we can get a bit of a turnaround here. Now we have a candle prior to this one. I'm talking about the candle at 12:25 on the 5-minute. It did close even yellow on my chart, which means that the opening and the closing prints were the same, and it has a bottoming tail, meaning that it could be a doji candle. A doji candle is a candle of indecision and or a reversal candle, one where if you're making a downtrend, all of a sudden you're reversing to the high side. So let's see what this one has to offer. We've got 11s on. Now it's showing me 20s. Good look here on ONDS, looking for the continuation, possibly into high day, which is 934. Still zigging and zagging, though. Nothing doing quite yet on this one. I'm keeping an eye as well on TSHA, because while this one was been good to me, it is taking a little bit longer now to retrace back to the high side. Most of the retracements into the 10 EMA were one or two candle red pullbacks. This one, if it closes, well, this candle just opened. If it closes right now, it'd be a 3 candle pullback, and it looks like it is losing the 10 EMA at the moment. Now, we've got 79s on, so we're out of the money now on the last remaining amount. Decisions to be made here. It's not losing it by that much. Let's see where I have my stop. So my current stop for YSHA, show yourself, is below 73. So if it loses 73, I'll get out. I like that stop. I'm going to leave that one in play. If it loses 73, then that's the end of the trade. One that I've said very little about, though, and I mean, the only reason I only said very little about it is because it's 48 bucks. BKKT. I mean, it's been a multi-day runner since the 29th, which is, I believe, a Monday. And today, we're up 160% since, that 8 a.m. low on Monday. So it's been a multi-day runner. 3 of the 4 trading days so far have been up days, with yesterday being an indecisive day, basically an inside day. So BKKT looking awfully good and really straddling the 10 EMA on the 5, not really giving way to it at all. There's been nary a print at the 20 EMA, not since anyway, about 9:35 when we were getting off the schneid during the implied balance open. So lots of strength there. Joey, I sent you a message. Yeah. with your boy Corey.
My boy Corey.
He just dropped a 10 super on that.
Yeah.
You want to cover that for him?
Yeah, I have it up here right now. I've seen that he was mentioning it not too long ago, and thank you for the super chat, brother, as much appreciated. I don't know, and so I'm just like thinking in my head too, right? I don't know if this has anything to do with the buyout, but I definitely see what you're getting at, right? Because they're thinking of going private. So I don't know when the deal is going to be done. I think Adair can give us a little bit more information on like the legitimate of what's going on.
Early 2027.
Okay, so it's a ways from now. Okay, yeah, it's a ways from now. Okay, thank you very much for that, Adair. So yeah, I can't tell you, right? Because if the buyout price is around $200, or I believe something along those. 210? Okay, so yeah, that's where everything starts to fall off the cliff, right? So when you head into 210, those contracts aren't worth anything. Like there's almost no point in buying them because the appreciation of north of 210 is essentially not going to happen. And this is all in the money contracts already, so that you're going to be paying for these and you're just going to lose money, especially if the underlying asset just continues to trade around that specific purchase price. So yeah, if you want the honest truth, Corey, just with what's going on with this stock and everything along those lines, avoid it from an option standpoint, all right? Because what are we trading at right now? 201. So I mean, if it's 210 and you want to ride that, just buy the at the monies and then see if you get that move. But again, for me personally, from an option standpoint, I would just completely avoid it at all costs. It can and probably will move up to that 210 level, but what you're going to be able to capitalize off of that, I'm not too sure. And with that being said, if I have any forms of uncertainty, I just avoid it. I don't want to, again, I told you guys earlier, I don't want to make things too complicated. And if it gets into that realm, then it's just like maybe that trade is not for me. But again, that's to each their own, right? Everybody has their own flavor and taste, and that's just the way that I rock and roll, okay? So hopefully that helped, brother. Again, I just try to give it to you as straightforward as possible. So yeah, the EA calls or everything. I mean, what's the delta on these things, considering that we're talking about it? So like, yeah, look at the fall off in delta as well too there, Corey. For me, that's just alarming. I wouldn't be looking to get involved in that whatsoever. So. Fine. I think you have better opportunities. I know you're in a lot of things as well. So I think there's some better chances for you to get involved with. I want to take a look at Broadcom, actually. We're still short the IBIT. We are forming those lower highs, which is positive. So you can see it on the 5-minute time frame. Boom. Starting to form that downtrend right here. So if that holds, which I think it's going to here on the day, looking for the repeat offense for that potential move back towards the volume-weighted average price and then come in the post-market. I was going to grind some blue ocean last night on IBIT, but I was just feeling really tired and I got to the gym late and it wasn't that liquid, to be honest with you. So, but I'm having a lot of fun on Blue O. I know Obi. Oh, Obi's not here. He's here 1 minute, he's gone the next. Man, the guy's just silent. He's a ninja over there. But yeah, I mean, that's what we got going on. Blue Ocean's fun. Also, put it in the chat. Guys, I'm curious, are you guys trading Blue Ocean and are you trading overnights? It's a yes or no. It's not that simplistic. Let's get some involvement with you guys. And also, don't forget to vote. I'm going to put my opinion on it right now, and that's going to be yes. I'm trading Blue Ocean. Obi, I just gave you a shout out. I said, I know you've been grinding BL for some time, and it's been rocking for you pretty good. So. Pardon me?
Sail the seas.
He sells the seas. Yeah,
Sails.
Yeah, he sails the seas. Yeah, there you go, man. He's he's a sea sailor right there.
Oh.
With that, so yeah,
he's
good
a sea
stuff.
Sailor, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there you go. Yes. A lot of good stuff going on there. What is blue? What the? Ozan, are you kidding me?
Oh.
I'll tell you right after we get back from Adara.
That's crazy talk, Ozan.
Yeah, that is crazy, brother.
You know what's crazy, talk, is the U.S. government has gone up, every time the U.S. government is shut down, we've had an increase here in the S&P 500. Here is every government shut down over the last 3 decades, including a photo of the president during whatever term it happened, just for, visual help. So what's interesting here, I want to mention, yes, the market was up every time, but it doesn't even seem like the length of the shutdown really had any correlation with the move in the market. You had a 16-day shutdown over here in 2013. Market only went up by 2%. 21-day shutdown in 1995 to 96. Market was basically flat. Then the 35-day shutdown, 2018 to 2019, we had a big spike in the market, right? So there's oddly very little correlation between the length of the shutdown and the actual move in the market. I also want to mention that this is not a perfect analysis because a lot of these times the shutdown began during the weekend and then so we didn't even have many days where the market was open during the shutdown. One great example is 2018. This started on a Saturday, ended on a Tuesday. So we really only had the market open like 2 days during the shutdown. So be aware of those limitations. But here is this fun infographic. You can check it out on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Thank you, Adira. And shout out to Jay. Jay, welcome to Trader TV. Shout out to Bluefin. Both of you guys, now you can get the morning note every single day. Make sure to join. Join right below the video. There should be a button called join, and you get the morning note sent to you every single morning. Just want to show you guys again where to find it, and because it's not readily very visible, Joey, but super easy to do. If you go over to our channel and then you hit the video right there, there it is right below. You can hit that join button right there, and then the way to find it, if you're already subscribed, you go to our homepage, you hit posts, and then it should be right there, right where it says morning market brief. You'll see one posted every morning. You hit more, and then there's the link at the bottom. You hit that, and it's on a drive. If you're a member, right, you will see this, okay? If you're not a member, see where it says members only in the green? So only members only can see that. So just make sure you are subscribed in order to get it. Joey, so thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you very much. All right, guys, so we have thank you very much. So wow 104, Joseph, can you please advise on the best delta for trading options? I'm hearing a lot about 60 delta. Yeah. Again, it all depends on what your objective is with the trade, but I'm going to give you the nod on that one. What I was going to plan on doing here for you, we're just going to go across a couple of the names that I have up here on my screen and just kind of elaborate a little bit more on what that 60 delta is actually going to bring us. And the majority of the time, it's going to get you right around at the money. And for me personally, I talk about it on the show. That's where I like buying my options. You have to know what you're doing when you're buying out the money and in the money, and you have to understand the objective because it's just not as simplistic, right? So you go right back to at the money at 170. I mean, 165 is slightly in the money, but if you head into that, what's that 0.52 delta? I'm sure it sounds like you're aware of what delta actually, how it affects the contracts. So we can go through another name. We'll go to IBIT because we've been talking about it out of the yin yang today. And then you had a 0.53 delta. So yeah, and one thing to note is that, like, okay, for personally, to buy contracts that are extremely out of the money, you have to understand the objective of what the trade is, because those only hold extrinsic value. They have no intrinsic value, right? And what do I mean by that? They only have time value. And what your objective is to gain the time value and the appreciation of the stock. So what is your intrinsic value? It's essentially the difference between your strike price and where the current underlying asset is trading at. You can't have negative. It'll just only be extrinsic value. So for example, if we have a stock that's at, you have a strike price of $60, it's trading at $65. That contract specifically has $5 of intrinsic value. And I think that's really important to note. So yes, at the money, at the money, at the money. That's the way I like to rock and roll. You know how I also like to rock and roll, even though it sucks, in the swing trade and in the long-term portfolio. But Sharif, we're on the steady decline. We're looking for that repeat offense. The exact same setup that we were looking at on Bitcoin yesterday is starting to come into play today. Those lower highs, bang, we're starting to piece it out. Yeah, it was a really nice trade. It's starting to become a really nice trade, and we like what we got going on in the crypto space, my brother.
All right, shout out to Bovin, man. I mean, Bovin brought to my attention that DFLI was breaking out, and we got back in for the breakout, and he's absolutely accurate. The OG Bovin strikes again. So let's put in some profit takers. Now, we'll see if we can kind of get that continuation into the dollar. DFLI has been looking bull flag-ish, you know, when you get the bull flag breakout and a continuation into an area of resistance. Your guess is as good as mine, but we're going to try to do the best we can here. So to me, 87 pennies is where I draw the line. And I say that for a reason. Area resistance and then area support. So if it loses 87 pennies, I want nothing to do with it until it reclaims trend. So it's having trouble clearing 90, despite the fact that we've taken prints above 90 at the moment, but waiting at 91 next, then 92. So we'll see what this 10 penny area here has to offer. Shout out to Jedi. 250 DOPs. You know what DOPs is? Dominican pesos. Hey guy, Joey, your opinion on LEAP options. 1 year, let's top stocks with Delta. Would you consider 0.7, 0.8, or 0.6. Am I
reading
that right? Or?
Yeah. I'm not too sure what does he mean by let's top stocks though.
I have no idea,
what does that
brother.
mean? I don't know.
That's
Sorry.
your world.
Yeah, I mean, hey, well, brother, hey, man, I'm not in with the newer lingo these days, man. I'm an
That's
old
like
head
me
now.
everywhere.
I'm double threes now. These my guys.
That's
so I'm
crazy.
not in with the
That's
cool. I'm not in with the cool. But no, in all seriousness, Jedi, I like the idea. Again, the further, like, let's go for an example. Let's head over to some NVDA because that's the darling of the market as of late. And then we're going to go over to some leaves. We're going to go to about a year out to where we're currently trading at. Blah, blah, we're in okay, so we only got September. They decided to skip a couple of the best months of the year right here. So September of 26, but actually, sorry, first let's do this. We'll see our at the money here, right? So our delta is roughly around 0.66 at that 187.5. Now let's head over to a year out and see how it affects our delta. It's not going to be as vast. So within those contracts changing, you have to keep that in mind as well. We'll go a little bit more. Where are you, September? And what are you, Delta? Okay, so it's relatively the same. That's not too bad. Just a little drastic fall off, but you can see that the increments are a little bit wider. You're always going to get the nod from me on the leaps. Why? Because it's time, baby. And with options, it most definitely comes into play more than you would ever like to think there, Sharif.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah, anytime. You're rocking it. We're rocking and rolling here today.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jedi, thanks for that super chat. And yeah, I'll always say leaps. For me personally, it's I'm like, so what, I have March expiration, so I'm like 5 to 6 months. Anything less than that, I'm not gonna have the conversation and just be like, yeah, I'm buying things a month out or 2 months out. No, I'd like to hold them on to a little bit longer. Well, thanks, Drew. That's some kind words of you, brother. I still feel that way, I think. I don't know.
Hey.
I would like to hope I do. Anyways, actually, no, you know what? I don't feel that way anymore. Much more mature. And yeah, but as for physically, I think, yeah, we're still doing pretty good. We're not going to complain. If I look half as good as Sharif at his age, then I think I became successful in that journey.
Oh, sure. Bro, you're gonna kill it. It's just absolutely smash it. So.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, immaculate shape on your end. 42. Crazy.
43.
43, man. Yeah.
Smashed a 6-esh this morning, by the way.
Nice.
15 pull-ups, close grip, neutral grip push-ups, and then we did weighted push-ups. So the 25 plate on the back, trying to get as many reps as we can in that bad boy. But I'm noticing a lot, like especially when I'm struggling on like, you know, the 8th, 9th set with the weighted plate, too mumuch shoulder anterior delt activation.
Is that what you're doing? You're not locking the traps, eh?
I am, of course. Okay, so I always rotate the shoulders back so you can press off the scalp, you know, rotate your scapula forward. But it was a 6 session, and it sets the tone. That's the thing,
it's
right?
The thing it does, man. That's what I love about. I was never a morning workout person aside from the weekends. Like on the weekends, I'm at the gym no later than 8:30 in the morning. But as of recently, I told you I've been hitting the gym in the morning, and I love it because at the end of the day, it's like. Well, what? You're good. Set. You're done. You know what I mean? You're good. So it's like we can run some hockey and then we get the double workout in. So yeah, that's some pretty good stuff.
And I know personally, I'm just speaking for myself. Like I feel like I have excess energy that may channel the wrong way if I don't channel it the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't have to be like anything like nefarious. It's just like you don't feel yourself, you feel anxious, or you're just a little too aggressive, maybe punching into positions. You don't have that level head.
So you need that. That release.
A little bit, to be quite honest with you. AJ's nothing but a number. I appreciate that, Bubin. Scapula. Did I say it wrong? AI? I guess he's better than all of us. Chest up, baby. Yeah, the idea is always chest up, right? So when I notice my core coming down, you got to lift up the core by activating your glutes, obviously, to lift it up. But it's just once you're getting into those higher reps, especially with weighting, I find that, you know, anterior delt is just kicking in a little too much. More biomechanics that I have to fix on, guys. But I'm loving it, man. It's all like a learning experience, and you never feel like you've topped out because you can always lift more, or you can lift faster, or you can lift for longer. And so you've never really like maxed out at all, right? And so I do love that about exercise and about challenging myself. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt like I plateaued a couple of years ago.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I just can't. I try to lift heavier, like say dumbbell press,
Yeah.
like where I can rock, but I can hit more reps when I'm heavy on the creatine. I can hit the more reps. It's just that I can't hit the heavier weight with each.
Why do you want to lift heavy anyway?
I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. No, that's the thing, right? That changed drastically for me in my 30s.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not gonna go in there and try to be the guy lifting that. And even though I never was, I'm not gonna go in there and try to be lifting the heaviest.
When I removed that as a mental block, like having to lift heavy because you want to look the part. Once that was gone,
it's gone. It's essentially irrelevant.
You gain so much more because then you're really focused on technique and pace and tempo and.
Like for me with my knee injury, yesterday I was hitting leg extensions. I can't go that heavy, but what I'm doing is I'm holding it for 10 seconds, right? So it's like boom, rip, you hold it, hold it, and then as for like incline press and everything like that. I just rock 50s and I just go until I can't go anymore, and that's like 15, 20 reps.
It's easy.
In the earlier set.
Personally, that's where I get the best reps when you're doing that mind-muscle connection. If you're going to lift really heavy, I personally can't get the good mind-muscle connection. It just ends up being
it's not the same, is it?
No. Not at all. All right, guys, this is really breaking out right now. Shout out to Blovin. Yeah, I'm in it, Blovin. I mean, the position board's out at the moment, but we're in. DFLI, we're in at 88. It's taking out all the levels. It's taking out all my prints. Let's wet the beak over here super quick. We're going to take a nice little move there. DFLI has been good to me today, man. 55 in the third percent. We were initially in over here at 80s. We wet the beak all the way up. And now we're in back at 88s, and we're going to ride this trend as well. So let's see what DFLI can offer. I'm waiting next at 97s. Here comes 94. So good strength on this one. Shout out to the OG Bovin for bringing this to my attention as well. Chuck of all trades says RZLV. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Just going to look at that super quick. RZLV. It's really going here. Yeah, good look, man. At day's highs, good call, Chuck of all trades. You're not doing a crazy amount of volume on this one, or maybe you are, 26.5 million shares. But, sorry, where did it go? There it is. Yeah, it's working its way into 6. We have resistance from yesterday, though, Chuck. I'm going to be looking off, well, first and foremost, you're going to be looking at that $6 area as psychological resistance, right? And that was a bit of an area of support yesterday in this bull flag breakdown, which didn't continue. And then, of course, you're going to look at yesterday's highs. I'm talking about 625, where the majority of these wicks ended up topping out at. So good call, my friend. We're going to take off YCBD, and we're going to put in RZLV. Good call out by you, and we'll keep tabs on that one. What else we got over here? Shout out to BGO dropping, what's NOK again? Norwegian kroners, 20 Norwegian kroners. UWU, sup Bash Brothers, and chat. What does that mean again? You versus you, or what? It's like some. Remember we did this last week? UWU.
No,
I think the chat was telling us it's like a gaming thing. I don't know what it is. Shout out to BGO.
Yeah, I like those rice noodles you got there.
What do you got there, Katina, man? Is that salmon?
I wanted these there. I didn't get that. I got potatoes.
这是面条.
What is that? Rice noodle?
That is noodles.
That is noodles?
Yeah.
Nice.
这是 means this is.
That is gone.
面条. Oh.
What is it? 这是
面条. Yeah. 面包 is bread. 面条 is noodles.
面条.
And then 包子 is bun. Roll Bowser is meat bun. Now Bowser.
You know Bowser, though. Yeah, I'm just referring to Bowser.
Joey's killing it. I'm A2 now in Mandarin, by the way, which is good. In case anybody cares.
What, Bijo, you like this? What, you like this? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
What? I don't know what that means either, bro.
This? No, what does that mean?
Fabian, is that a gamer term or something like that? Like UWU? Yeah. Why is she laughing?
What mean? What do you think?
She's an idiot.
She's laughing hard at us. She's laughing hard at us. What does it mean?
You versus you? I have no idea, man. We can ask.
What is this, Fabian? How do you?
Anime. People are saying anime. Oh. It's a gamer term, online term. Yeah.
Okay, but say what the term is.
It's an emoticon. Sharif says high vibrations. I have no idea, bro. I'm 100. How many times have I told you? So, are those eyes and a nose, or are those something else?
Okay.
Do we have an ad read or something?
Good.
Yo, tap in. No.
It means
Well, he's not saying it to me. Tap in there.
Oh, sorry, SSE, my man.
What does
I
this
do
mean?
apologize.
What does this mean?
Don't worry about it, Joey.
I'm worried.
Like saying all with a
okay.
soft, cute expression.
Okay.
It's often used in anime or furry communities.
Yo.
Fluffy. Fluffy.
The meme of
Is furry like bad if I say that, Fabian?
Well, you've already
No,
said it.
okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I gotcha.
Yo,
I have an ex-girlfriend whose sister makes those.
Makes what?
Like
Furries?
paper maches
you were
and
telling me
sells
about
them.
that.
She makes a killing off it, dude. Yeah.
What I was about to say is
boy.
that like these memes kill me. It's like I can't believe like 2019 or 2021 is remember when everyone stormed Area 51?
Yes.
and they're all
good.
doing like this run.
Yes.
I'm like, how is this even reality? It's like,
It's so stupid. I love it, man. I love it. You reminded me
that
of
had
good
me
times,
dying
dude.
laughing. It's like, what is going on?
Joey, we're doing it freaking live right now on DFLI. It's taking out highs, man. We're on our way to 96 pennies. That is the high of the day right now. Shout out to OG Buvin. I know, Buvin. I see it, Buvin. We're involved. We're wetting the beak here. We got 96.5 next as a profit taker. DFLI is quite strong. Well, you guys are funny in the chat, man. Shout out to Jake Roberts. Bro, we don't know what it means. What are we supposed to do over here?
I know.
We can ask chat, but oh boy, Party P, yo, production. Add the UWU emoji for Joey Prince from now on, LMFAO. There you go. You're getting love from the chat. That's there, crazy. Joey and the production team getting love as well. Guys, RZLV is continuing to run, man. Shout out to Chuck of all trades for pointing out this bad boy. It is coming into the high of the day, but I do have a bias with this one that you should be on the lookout for resistance at 6 and then 6 1/4. 6 was an important area of support yesterday during that bull flag breakdown, which didn't end up continuing. And then 6, of course, is the psychological resistance. So RZLV in focus here, Joey. CAN, we're still holding 29s, but this is, I think it might be time to get out of this trade. It is finding support at 30. The problem is it's got a lower, it's got a downtrend over here. So if it's got a downtrend and it's not changing its tune with any higher highs, I should be on the lookout for that on CAN. We'll keep tabs on that. And ONDS I got out of, obviously, because it did lose trend. So we took a flat trade. Well, are we positive on that? Yeah, barely positive, but we are positive on ONDS. So negative on the day, but we'll look to do a little bit better, guys. What do you got, Joey?
All right, good stuff there. Yeah, this is my new thing apparently. Yeah, let's see what we got going on with. There it is, right? Like, so we take the short there on IBIT, comes back to the break even, and then it's starting to put in an additional leg lower. But we still like our chances. You can see that we're long some Tesla as well too. I need some more water from. Oh wow, what an aggressive selling print right there in the crypto space. So let's get our eyes off of that as it's continuing to bleed. But there goes Tesla, slowly starting to cook up for us here. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of an aggressive bounce off of these lows, considering the fact that the TQs were above VWAP there, and you got the SPY just about to knock on that door. And we had the long in the SPY as well not too long ago. And then we got all out of that one. So let's head back over to the Amex and see what's cooking. Another potential reload opportunity, so boom, you can take that reload, and then sure enough, it just comes back to our break even, we hop out, and then it puts in a new leg higher, so not too bad. Yeah, hopefully this selling in crypto doesn't get a little bit too aggressive. I mean, we're only about 40 cents off of the highs, so nothing to get overly worried about. Now, as for this name, once we can break through this is going to be a really, really important level. I think, in my opinion, $21 here on TSLL. If we can get anywhere north of that, we're going to start to piece it out. But we're off of those lows, so the risk profile is extremely, extremely tight. What are we in at 90s? We got to give it to 70s. So we got 20 cents right there on TSLL. Not too bad of a look there, Sharif.
All right, BTTC's halted to the upside again, up 470%. So BQ breaks down, then BTT takes over. BTTC breaks down, BQ takes over. This one's halted now. We'll be able to see the tap on this one because this one's a NASDAQ stock, so it's 27 bucks. That's the tap, having halted at 26.31. Recall, though, that the high of the day on BTTC is 34.59. So let me just read out some halt levels to you. There's a halt level just south of $29. So be on the lookout for resistance possibly at 29 to 30. But then above that, you've got basically a gap between 30 to 34.60, essentially where that one did top out. So it is about 2 minutes to 1. So let's start the news. Adira, you good to go? Okay, we got the thumbs up. So let's start, guys. We're going to be using the morning note for the news. So if you like what we're reading on the news, make sure to join by clicking the join button below the video and get that sent to you guys every single day. I'm just trying to load this bad boy up. I don't even know where it went, Katina, man. We're going to have to find it over here. So Google Docs. There we go. And then we're going to log in. All right, good to go, good to go. Let's start. So, guys, the first story, of course, is Taiwan's response to the Trump administration's desire, I guess, to have a 50-50 split in chip production. Taiwan's top trade negotiator, Cheng Li-chun, also vice premier, confirmed that the U.S. proposal for a 50-50 split in the chip production was not even discussed in recent trade talks between the two countries. The proposal would have shifted half the U.S. semiconductor supply to domestic production, reducing, of course, reliance on Taiwan. And this was really all started by U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who argued for reshoring chip manufacturing, noting that U.S. currently imports, guys, 95% of chips from Taiwan. Taiwan's trade focus is a little different here. They're saying instead of production sharing, talks centered during negotiations with the U.S. on lowering tariff rates as well as securing exemptions from tariff stacking. Taiwan currently faces a 20% reciprocal tariff on exports to the U.S. And there was a lot of political backlash in Taiwan to this headline. They didn't like it at all. Taiwan leaders, as well as the opposition parties, slammed the U.S. plan as exploitative and plunderous. They say the Silicon Shield, which is basically the protection for Taiwan because it produces so much of the world's semiconductors, and therefore, you know, it's sort of protected from invasion. The Silicon Shield refers to Taiwan's dominant role in advanced chip making, widely viewed, Joey, as a deterrent against Chinese aggression. That's what they're arguing for there. Go ahead.
Right on. All right, guys, let's see. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. Now, as you listed, Origenics is changing that with first-in-class intranasal drug design for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Yeah, there it is, guys. We're getting a little bounce there on Tesla Shreve. I missed the majority of it there, sorry, so we'll send that off to Adara. But at the end of the day, there it is on Tesla. We did get a little bit of a pop, and this is the resistance zone that I was referring to earlier that we need to keep an eye out on. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
All right, guys. Dara, what do you make of this whole thing? Obviously, this was started by Howard Lutnick. Now we get a response from from Taiwanese officials, and they're not really happy about it.
Yeah, it's what I thought. Honestly, it kind of seems just like a rumor that Howard Lutnick started. This is not the first time that he's done this either. And I said this yesterday, too. I don't really buy this because we know that like Howard Lutnick used to go and say, oh, Trump and Xi are going to talk tomorrow. And then that wasn't a thing. That was actually like back in February, right? So I've noticed a trend. They don't really let Lutnick talk during the day anymore. And I think Trump's picked up on this, too, because he's even said things to the effect of, oh, the market loves when Scott Bessent talks. Oh, the market goes up. The market didn't love when Howard Lutnick would be speaking intraday, and also, again, like some of the things that have been said have historically either been kind of gonzo, like off the wall, or they just really haven't been backed up. I think a lot of what he says is kind of his opinion on what could or should happen and not really, I think, policy discussions that have been in play. And I think that's really backed up by the fact that Taiwan's vice premier / trade negotiator is like, we don't know what they're talking about. This is not a thing that we've heard of. So I think as far as I'm concerned, this is case closed unless and until Trump and other people from the trade team have said or say like, okay, this is actually something we're working on. This is one guy making one opinion. I don't think it's going to be a story.
All right, sounds good, Adair. Thank you for that. Open is breaking out as we speak right now, so be on the lookout for there. Yeah, going into 833, it's up 2.75%, but it did take out that 815 pesky level. So OPN still below that 875, 880 level from yesterday. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Let's go on to the next story. Buffett's Berkshire buys Occidental's OxyChem for $9.7 billion. Let's get to the details. So that $9.7 billion all-cash acquisition of the Occidental Petroleum's petrochemical unit, which is called OxyChem. This is Berkshire's largest deal since back in 2022 when they purchased Allegheny for about $11.6 billion. The deal highlights here Buffett's strategy of deploying Berkshire's record $344 billion cash pile into what they think is a stable long-term business. This has got to be way more than Apple or whoever else has on hand, because I'm pretty sure that Apple doesn't have $344 billion. Anything you want to update us on, Katina Man? You just, oh, that was the barrel. Okay, gotcha. The Katina Man is still long AMD at 167, so just alert there. The impact on Occidental here will be that they're going to use about $6.5 billion of that $9.7 billion to pay down debt. CEO Vicky Holub emphasized the transaction strengthens Oxy's long-term stability while allowing it to focus on its core business here, which is oil and energy. OxyChem, why does OxyChem matter, though? So it produces chemicals for water treatment, healthcare, as well as commercial industries, and this marks Berkshire's first major chemical deal since back early last decade in 2011 when it acquired Lubrizol for about $10 billion here. But both sides expect the transaction to close in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter of 2025, so we'll have to see when this one closes, Joey. But as we know, Uncle Warren, 95 years old now, resigning at the end of the year as CEO. But as he made clear during Berkshire Hathaway's conference, he will be around, to support
it's a beer, you know what I mean?
Some acquisitions.
Show face. What was that stat that we were talking about? How much percentage of the bond market does he hold?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I forget about that.
It was like 5%.
Check with Perplexity.
Like
it's ridiculous.
Which is an actually insane amount. So this guy is just an absolute monster, a whale at with anything short of that. But as for Oxy, guys, we were talking about this yesterday, and I seen Laura in the chat, Laura Bennett, buying Oxy calls. I don't think the energy space right now is definitely not something to be involved with. I guess
5.1%.
How much does that work out
of U.S. Treasury?
U.S. Treasury.
Yeah,
$314 billion in T-bills is absolutely.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane. But yeah, in all seriousness, guys, as for Oxy, it's taking it on the chin today. I mean, it's getting knocked out today. It's notwithstanding that punch, 47 all the way down to $43.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's a really, really tough look there in Oxy. And then from a technical standpoint as well, too, look at you just engulf this whole range. So multiple days of grinding and moving sideways, and then you take this massive move to the downside. And I said this earlier. I told you guys yesterday when we were talking about it. It was one of my first options contracts that I ever bought. And yeah, I haven't even looked at the energy space since then. And I think rightfully so. This is definitely a space that you want to learn how to write things and learn how to set up those iron condors and those market neutrals, and not necessarily look for appreciation in the actual stock itself. It's for the dividend aristocrats, my friend.
Adara, this is going to be Greg Abel integrating OxyChem with Berkshire. This is going to be the first time that Uncle Warren's not there for the transition.
Yeah, it'll be weird to see how that goes. I mean, I think everyone kind of speculated that Greg Abel, here's Buffett, because we got to show him, because he's awesome. I think a lot of people were speculating that Greg Abel was behind the UNH position. That would actually make a lot of sense, because this type of deal is very much like old school Uncle Warren, getting involved in the company they're already very deeply involved with and making this deal. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think the market today is not rewarding Oxy for this, but you guys have to keep in mind, this was also previously reported, right? So this is maybe a buy the rumor, sell the news type situation. Yesterday, let me see what we actually did yesterday, because we did at least gap. Okay, so we basically were flat yesterday. Today we're dropping. Yeah, I think this is a situation where maybe the news is priced in, however you want to put it, either way. People did not like this. This is not a good day for Occidental, which, by the way, is at intraday lows. And so I think this is something let's see what Berkshire is doing. I'm just looking at the chart here for myself. I kind of want to see over the next couple days how things settle down and react. And yeah, I'm curious as to what Berkshire's plans are going to be for this unit going forward, because you're right, the fact that he's not there to oversee the transition, that could be a difference maker, and maybe not in a good way. Also, Sharif and Joe and everybody, I looked into this. Berkshire's cash on hand, this is per trading view, around like that 344 billion, right? Next largest cash on hand, Amazon, 96.89. It's not
I knew
even
that. Yeah.
close.
Yeah, it's
so
not even
Berkshire,
close.
I mean, he's got money to spend over there, and 10 billion, like, of that is what? It's like a paper cut. It's like probably for most people going to get a cup of coffee. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
No, you're absolutely right. My suspicion, though, is that a lot of these tech companies are a little bit light on cash right now because of the AI build-out. We know that.
Well, I mean, Apple's not even spending, so how much cash do they have on hand?
They got, I think, a little bit less. Okay, so I know that in the last quarter they had over 100 billion in cash, but they also had liabilities as well.
So according to TradingView, where I got all the other data, it's actually staggeringly low compared to its Mag 7 peers, 55.37.
Yeah, that's when you offset the debt, but the actual cash on hand, it was Tim Cook in the last earnings call, Adair. I think it was like about 150 or something like that.
Look at the last time I looked at the free cash flow, it was like $100 billion.
Yeah, it was a little bit more, but there was a substantial amount of debt. That's what I really want to make that point.
Emphasize,
so that nobody gets the idea I'm talking about.
Before we move on to the next story there, Sharif, just one quick thing from, I forget who mentioned, Sitar. Yeah, it's just this. Why, as simplistic as I can put it, is you have selling throughout the whole day, and then you just have this indecision print off the low. I don't know if we're going to get any more of a bounce. As you can see, we ran into this resistance zone that we were talking about earlier, one support now acting as resistance, and then that's why we just take a little bit off as we run into that specific level right there.
All right, Joey, we're trading at a little bit below 120,000 right now on Bitcoin, and that is the next story. October has been very good to Bitcoin in the past. Oh no, it's spooky, it's scary.
Hilarious.
It's your thing right there. So historically, guys, October is Bitcoin's strongest month, according to the data, with gains in 10 of the last 12 years, all since 2013. Of course, traders refer to the period as Uptober, highlighting a recurring pattern where September weakness sets up October's strength. That might be a little bit different this year because September of 2025, of course, was an exception, with Bitcoin gaining 5% versus its usual sluggish seasonal performance. Again, we've talked about this on past shows. There could have been a pull forward of a sell-off as a result of the April lows. We'll have to wait and see if that ends up being true. Some macro tailwinds here supporting the Bitcoin move is the U.S. government shutdown this week. Political gridlock and economic uncertainty are pushing some investors to view Bitcoin as a hedge against the instability. Also, recent price action here. We know that the token has surged over 90% in about a year, fueled, of course, by the current administration's support of the crypto industry at large. Analysts are suggesting that while October's strength is likely this year, the pace of the gains we make in this October may moderate due to September's better than expected upside move. And last but not least here, Joey, the analysts look, Bitcoin's long-term trajectory remains tied to what analysts are gauging to be regulatory easing, adoption, and of course, macro volatility wherever that may come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about this quite some time. Told you I'm holding Tom Lee accountable for his words and everything along those lines. Obviously, I'm not. Yeah, no, but it's good, right? It's good seeing a bounce. And when we head over to Bitcoin, the pattern has been relatively the same, right? So let's pull this up here. Okay. We're going to pull up the actual underlying asset itself. And I mean, it's been relatively the same. And what do I mean by that is just take a look at what we got going on. It's like move higher, consolidation, move higher, multi-month consolidation, leg higher, multi-month consolidation. Now, is this going to be an additional leg? Well, if we just go back to the history of it, why wouldn't it be, right? Consolidation, leg higher. Yeah, I get you pull back here slightly aggressively, considering this was a lengthier one. Enough liquidity wasn't absorbed. You punch through some of the lows. Well, guess what? Immediately off of those bottoms, you punch through those levels with aggression. You consolidate another additional leg higher. And I think that's going to be the case here. It may take a little bit more time than what we're expecting, but as I mentioned, I would not be surprised whatsoever if we see an all-time high in Bitcoin by the end of the weekend or shortly after it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does have a tendency to run on the weekend, so I think you definitely...
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like that Sunday
sure.
night stuff, Saturday night
And
stuff.
I always told you, like, I hate the fact that I do this, but I always, before the market opens 6 p.m. on Sunday, I look to see what Bitcoin is doing. And I don't like that because I don't want them correlated.
You don't want them correlated. You don't want to mix the friend group.
Bad habits, hard to break, I guess. Adara, this has been a good, September was a good month for Bitcoin. We got more instability with the U.S. government shutdown. Do we continue to run?
I have an update with that shutdown. I'm just seeing CNN reporting that apparently the Bureau of Labor Statistics already collected their September labor data, and it could be ready to release. So we're not expecting a non-farm payroll report tomorrow, but this report from CNN suggests that we actually could maybe get one potentially. So just be aware of that. Now let's get on to this shutdown talk. Yeah, I think with regards to crypto, I do want to point out once again, and I've said this before, I'll continue to say it, the correlation between crypto in and of itself with the market, and then furthermore, these crypto tickers with Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. It's really unclear, so be careful when you're trading any of these. For example, Coinbase is ready to push out in days high, whereas MSTR is like waffling a little bit here. Yeah, I think honestly, like as you can see, and to be clear, it's hard to make direct correlations because there's so many different specificities with the overall market and with the circumstances surrounding all the shutdowns, but generally the market goes up in the shutdown. Now, if people, regardless of if we know it's going up, if people are flooding to safe haven stocks or assets or entities, Bitcoin and crypto are still considered that. So I think they're going to probably benefit regardless, but they're already technically in a setup where they look pretty good. We know that Citigroup said that their price target for Bitcoin at the end of this year is 132,000. It's not unrealistic given how it's climbing up, but they don't like Ethereum as much, which is worth noting. They see it basically flat at the end of the year.
Fair enough.
Isn't the SEC looking into some of these treasury plays? So I guess we can look at that as a potential weight on some of their shoulders, like BMNR and MSTR, because
they're investigating them.
Apparently,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think Adara or someone mentioned it, but they're. Yeah. So with these treasury plays like the likes of MSTR and BMNR, apparently there's some form of something going on behind the scenes. Now that we're seeing it kind of be the price being slightly subdued, considering that the assets are climbing, but these treasury plays are not participating in the move.
It seems like it's more specifically like ones that they view are manipulating the market because QMM trading suspended. I just looked into this. That's all I'm seeing. I've heard reports of this for a while, but I think it's just more the ones where they actually have issues. With the way that they're trading. Apparently over 200 firms do face SEC and FINRA scrutiny with regards to these deals, but that's likely going to affect companies that recently made announcements. MSTR doesn't fall into that category.
My understanding as well was that they were going to start possibly changing the rules on how publicly listed companies can add cryptos to their corporate treasuries. They will require a shareholder vote for certain amounts, but I didn't think that they were going to ban it outright. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't hear anything about outright banning.
I didn't say ban outright.
Yeah, my bad.
And I do want to clarify as well, like again, something like MSTR is not going to be impacted here because they've had it on their balance sheet for like 5 years now, and they've long been a treasury strategy. It's more going to impact things that are really manipulated. Like if you guys remember QMM when it went up like $300 in a day, that type of thing seems to be more where they're going to crack down.
Sounds good.
That's fair, yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next story. Joey, we brought this to you guys yesterday. We, quite frankly, don't really have more information, but there is early talks now between formal rivals. Well, I don't even think they're former. They're still rivals. Intel in early talks with AMD on a foundry deal. What am I talking about here? Intel is reportedly in early discussions with AMD to manufacture some of AMD's chips at Intel's foundry business. We know, of course, the Intel foundry business has been aggressively seeking a large-scale customer to validate sort of that turnaround strategy started under the previous CEO, Pat Gelsinger, and was possibly being canceled by Lip-Bu Tan. We'll have to see whether it gets just scaled down or canceled. The collaboration is notable, of course, because the two companies are long-standing rivals, especially in the x86 chip design business for both, of course, PCs and servers. Securing, though, a deal with AMD as a customer would allow Intel to at least confidently invest in scaling the manufacturing technology. We know that they shut down they shut down the plans to build a foundry in Germany. The other one, I think, in Ireland or Poland was also shut down, and the one in Ohio was put on pause and, in fact, likely won't be done until 2030. And the reason was because they didn't have an anchor client, a major client that they can say, look,
it makes sense for us to spend this money because we're going to reap it back through, you know, this purchase order and that purchase order. So analysts highlight that such a move would send a strong signal to other chip makers that Intel finally can handle third-party business at scale. We'll have to wait and see. That's not decided yet. AMD currently manufactures chips, of course, primarily with Taiwan Semi, as most of the world does. Shifting even part of its production to Intel would indicate that AMD trusts, at least indirectly, a competitor. It remains unclear, though, Joey, how much volume and what type of chips they're going to allocate to Intel. Discussion is still ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny to think it's like, yay, they got a customer, woohoo. It's like, you know, when you open up your business and you put the first $5 bill on the wall just for good luck. I think that the Intel should probably head into that world. But no, in all seriousness, guys, we talked about that. The government's getting involved. They're taking 10% stake in the company. And then look what everything has happened ever since. and I mentioned,
Shocking.
Dude, I literally said the exact. I'm like, okay, government's involved. Look to buy the name. I'm glad Katina Mann's been involved in it. I'm glad Neil's been involved in it. And they've been sitting in this name. It's been consolidating, and then eventually you get that breakout. So with the length of this consolidation, hopefully this move can be sustained. You're starting to get some big names invested in. You got the AMD potential deal as well too. So it's not too bad of a look here for Intel. Let's see what Lip-Bu's been got cooking up his sleeve here, because I mean he's only been the CEO for about 2.5 quarters at most, I think, or something along those lines. So yeah, I mean, break of that $26 level, starting to climb up to $37
That's a hell of a breakout,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's a hell of a breakout.
But this is what I'm getting at. Is
you have ugly levels from history. There's nothing we can do about that. But relative to the current price,
exactly
fantastic, right?
Right. And the thing is, it's like, okay, yeah, it's been consolidating for so long. Like it literally started more than a year ago, and then you're moving within this $10 range, and then eventually you break out. So with the length of that, I wouldn't be surprised if this move is more sustained and you just start punching through some key levels. This is going to be a key pivot right here. Look, we're knocking on that door. Well, what happens when you surpass that? You get your pullback, your couple percentage point pullback. Well, you're going to head into that next level, which is the 40s, and I think that can most definitely be in play.
All right, Adara, we saw Nvidia invest $5 billion into Intel, but they stopped short of using the foundry business, calling it a product-only deal. Does that possibly change?
Yeah, they didn't even just stop short. Jensen Huang very kindly kind of friend-zoned Intel's foundry business, like, well, you know, we're not going to use the foundry part. He was very nice about it. You know, Lip-Bu was still there smiling, but it was awkward, and you could tell that Jensen probably was thinking in his head, oh my gosh, I will never do this. So it's kind of hard for me to believe, with that in mind, that AMD would. Because AMD is smart. Lisa Su is savvy. She was, you know, a little bit debatably, but she was chosen as the CEO of 2024. I don't think this woman is really going to go and be like, hey, Intel, we want to use your foundry, unless they really believe there's something in it for them with regards to either, like, I guess, the tariff impacts of things, or trying to get into, I guess, Trump's good books. But we know she was at the CEO dinner that he had in the Rose Garden on September 4th. So you could argue either she's already kind of there, she's already on his radar. So I don't know. I think it's something that, if this is even true, I want to see a little bit more evidence of, because we know TSM already denied reports that they were talking to Intel. So not every Intel-related report should be taken at face value.
Shout out to the OG. Here she is with the other OG there.
I love her
David
hands.
Sachs. And she's wearing blue, Adara, so right away she wins, you know? Look at Sachs.
The hands here are just great. She's like, I don't know what she's holding in her mind, but I love the hand gestures that are happening.
Yeah, I know. But like, look at all the gold in the background. I freaking love it, bro. Oh, man, yeah, there's her meeting, obviously, with President Trump, and there's the AI and crypto czar, my favorite guy, far and away on All In podcast.
What is that, a B-52 right there?
Hey?
What is that, a B-52 bomber right there?
Where am I looking, Joey? That's a B-2 bomber.
A B-2,
stealth
B-2,
bomber.
B-2,
Yeah.
Stealth. Oh, yeah. The one that he flew over Vladimir.
Yeah.
Crazy,
yeah, that's a B-2 stealth bomber.
Did you see Vlad when that happened? You see what Vladimir, he's like,
yeah, Vladimir was tripping.
Yeah, he's like, yo.
Yeah, Vladimir didn't like that at all.
No, at all.
He's like, him, right?
He's like, whoa.
All right, guys. All right, let's get to the next story over here. Joey, we're going to talk about Tesla's Q3 deliveries. But look, I think I'm going to skip this story because we've already got Tesla's numbers out, and this really doesn't make any sense at the moment. So let's go on to Robinhood, CEO yesterday. he did an interview with Squawk Box Asia. He's in Singapore right now at a conference, and he's talking tokenization. Let's talk about what he said during said interview. So, of course, CEO Vlad Tenev called tokenization a freight train that will eventually eat, quote, eat the entire financial system. He believes most major markets will have a framework for tokenized assets within 5 years. Tokenization, of course, refers to turning real-world assets like stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities into digital representations that are tradable and exchangeable on the blockchain network and all the verifications and security that come with that. In June, Robinhood launched over 200 tokenized U.S. stocks, only though for EU customers, still not allowed in the U.S. Tenev argued tokenization could become the default method of accessing U.S. stocks internationally. He expects Europe, very interesting for him to say that, he expects Europe to lead the adoption of tokenized equities and tokenized assets, and he predicts, sadly, the U.S. will be one of the last adopters, citing entrenched financial infrastructure and regulatory hurdles that may prevent it. But we do know that this has been getting more support, Joey, from said institutional people like Morgan Stanley, BlackRock. They've all signaled interest in tokenization, kind of validating the industry momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was listening to the All In podcast and with Vlad Tenev, and that's where he started exactly in Europe there, Sharif, as you mentioned. And that was with the likes of the SpaceX and OpenAI. And he was like, it was really interesting on how he actually got to kind of tokenize OpenAI. So essentially he had to own some equity in it, but it was more difficult because it's for nonprofit. But anyways, what happens is he creates a basket and then it's a synthetic version of it. And then that's when he was the ability to distribute it via tokenization. And I found that really, really interesting. But he has some big time plans. He's a quant. He's like, yeah, let's tokenize everything. And he was in talks with Sam Altman. He had conversations with Sam Altman and Elon Musk, and we heard that they weren't happy that he did it, but at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, we had those conversations, and they're going to work their way around it. So I like what Vlad's got going on. The Robinhood has been an absolute phenomenal stock. I couldn't be more than happy to own it. It's one of the best performers in my portfolio, and at the end of the day, if everything is tokenized, I think these guys are going to be at the forefront of it, and they're going to lead the run, and I think that's going to be the case because you need to continuously adapt. And as for the banks, we know that they're slow to kind of, the American Canadian, they're slow to kind of adapt these types of things. But when they do, it's fundamental changes, right? It's a fundamental change, and there's ways that you can definitely benefit from it.
Adara, what do you make of this tokenization? Are you a fan of this whole thing? Do you like everything being auditable and accessible on the blockchain?
I mean, like, let's think about it this way. I'm still using iTunes, so I don't know if I'm like the person to be super on the cutting edge of technology.
That's fair.
I want to let you guys know too, Kellogg is moving with volume. I'm not seeing any news on this, so I just want to let you guys know about that. I'm also seeing, sorry, I'll get to Robinhood in a second, but apparently Senator Elizabeth Warren is requesting that the BLS release the September job report on Friday. That's just a report right now. But again, as we heard, it seems like they actually do have the data ready. We'll have to wait and see if it does get that Friday release, assuming that the data is in fact prepared. Either way, let's talk here about a little bit more about Robinhood. If there's Kellogg news or Kellanova news that pops up, I'll let you guys know. But either way, Joe, you were saying this is the best performer in your portfolio. Not just your portfolio, in the S&P 500 this year, this is the best performing stock, up more than 250%. So I do want to give it a nice little shout. Also, like, you know, fellow new S&P 500 entrant, AppLovin, these are both in the top 10 performers of the S&P 500. They weren't even part of the index a month ago, so that's awesome. Now, here's Robinhood's quarterly revenue. I don't have Q2 25 on here. I'll have to add that. But either way, as you can see, kind of, you know, ebbs and flows, pushing to the upside. Now, with regards to Robinhood and tokenization, I think this is something I would like to have them have their ducks a little bit more in a row about, for lack of better terms, going forward. Like, if they're going to stand during that to catch a token event and be like, hey, we're going to have, you know, the OpenAI tokenized, maybe have a conversation with that so they're not caught blindsided, because OpenAI then came out on their newsroom and they were like, we didn't even know this was happening. We don't approve of this. So, I mean, now it sounds like he's having the conversations, he's taking the steps going forward. Hopefully it's not too little too late. And, you know, people like Sam Altman and Elon Musk are amenable to conversations and we get more of the tokenization. But I really think, at least for Robinhood's sake, unless you start with these big splashy names like an OpenAI, like a SpaceX, I don't know how quickly it's going to catch on, and I want to see too at what point it catches on in America, because Vlad kind of seems to recognize the regulatory hurdles they'll have there, but I think that's probably the biggest market for them to capture. So let's see if they are able to catch a tokenization license in US sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so one of the issues with tokenization, of course, at least with publicly traded equities, is the voting. And so he was pressed upon that. And he was asked, well, he's like, how are you going to ensure voting rights in the same way that you would if you held the asset on an exchange, right? And he's like, well, look, if you're an institutional investor and you're 1 million shares deep in a stock, right, you can't just exit your position that easily. You're kind of locked in because of the amount and the nature of your position. Whereas a retail trader, you know, you're a few hundred shares deep, you're not moving the markets, baby. So what he says is, in those cases, if you don't like the direction of the company and there's no voting rights, you typically sell your shares as opposed to try to influence management's position like an institution would. Whether you agree with that or not, that was his response to that. But that is an issue. How do you ensure some of the same things, Joey, that we currently get as rights as shareholders on a publicly traded company when we're in the tokenized environment? That's going to be some logistical issues we have to deal with.
I think that's valid as well, too, Shreve. And listen, Vlad Tenev is extremely smart. I'm not going to be like, but hey, personally, I wouldn't mind voting at the end of the day, but is that going to be the hurdle that slows everything down? I mean, to gain some things, I think you're going to have to give some up. And with that case, just to play the other side of the coin is like, okay, yeah, there might be some issue with the voting rights. I wouldn't be surprised if they figure that out eventually. But guess what? You get that instant settlement. You have ownership of the equity right away instead of that grace period that you need to wait and have everything settled. So I think there's obviously a little bit of give and pull there in that factor. So for me personally, I like the tokenization. I like the just turning everything into digital essentially, because that's the direction that we're heading. And I think that he's forward looking, and that's what we want.
I agree, so, and he's very forward looking. Exactly. I mean, he does have that kind of aggressive. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tesla here. We're starting to cook off the bottom there, so we'll take a little bit more off. Second attempt on this one, but yeah, Sharif, I like what Vlad's got going on. He's a quant. He's doing a lot of big things over there, starting over there in Europe as well too. And yeah, and I like how he's done. He gives you access to some of these private markets that you don't necessarily. Well, it's not here yet, but over in Europe. But once it does get here, I think a lot of people are gonna go that route. Me personally, I would all day. It's like, oh hey, 100%. I get to buy OpenAI before, if and when it ever does go public. SpaceX,
there's ways to do it now, but like it's still a lot tougher.
It's not as simplistic, right?
And let's not forget, Canada's a different regulatory environment, so we could have it north of the border over here first.
I mean, exactly, with the likes of the Bitcoin ETFs. Like we had that before before the Americans.
And a lot of people talk about that. They use the TSX sort of as an experimental exchange, see what works, what doesn't, and they adopt it south of the border. We'll have to see if this was one of them as well. Joey, let's go on to the next story. Meta expanding their AI monetization via chat personalization. So let's talk about this. Meta AI has been obviously very in focus, and he's been spinning up a storm, not lately, but this year certainly. Meta platforms will begin using conversations, your personal conversations, with its AI chatbot to tailor ads. Yep, Assassino, yes. To tailor ads and content starting December 16th. Thankfully, I don't use Meta AI. Chats will not be used for personalization if they involve sensitive topics, like politics, religion, health, or ethnicity. I'll believe it when I see it. The rollout will exclude... Yeah, Katina Man not buying it either. The rollout will exclude, apparently, Katina Man, the UK, South Korea, and the EU, but it will be... It does, my friend. It's all of Meta AI. No, Fabian, not the actual conversations between you and somebody else within WhatsApp, but if you use Meta AI within WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever, then it will be used. I just want to make that point very clear. Yeah, of course, brother, of course. Well, let's just, cut the crap. Let's go on to Zuckerberg's AI vision. CEO, of course, Zuck sees this part as part of a broader AI augmented future where users gain access to personal AI agents. Meta's stronghold in social media, of course, plus is push into AI generated short form, content underscores this transition. Zuckerberg is pushing for $600 billion in AI infrastructure investments over the next few years, as he said at the White House when he was sitting next to President Donald Trump. Meta aims to cover, Joey, about $47 billion plus in quarterly revenue burn from AI scaling with targeted ad personalizations. Users might soon see more AI-driven placements like gear ads connected to conversations about hiking. So look, watch what you say to the Meta AI, otherwise you're going to see ads up the yin yang.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what it's probably going to be, right? Like you have it on your glasses. Oh, you say something, ad there. It's just to kind of scrape some more money out of you at the end of the day. We've seen it in the likes of ChatGPT. What was it with Etsy there that you brought us the story yesterday, I believe, or the day before, Sharif, where you can directly sell and buy off of Etsy. So it's just a way that they can grab some more money, get a piece of the other pies and everything along those lines. So I'm not surprised to see this. And I mentioned in the likes of ChatGPT, I wouldn't be surprised that in a matter of time, with every prompt that you put in, you're going to have to watch an ad, especially on the freer platforms, the ones that are freer. I don't know if we can get more freer, but the ones that are free. So yeah, I think that's just the way it's going. It's just how can we suck another digital ad dollar out of the next individual?
Adira, you already have rivals like Snap, TikTok, even X. They're also exploring AI integration into ads, and you have X, of course, led by our friend Elon, recently launched its showcasing AI-powered recommendations in spaces like and chat functions. What do we do about this whole thing here?
Yeah, I feel weird about this. I don't really want that. I don't want Big Brother up in my business recommending ads for me. And here's the thing. Honestly, I don't think the experience is going to be that different because, truthfully, like we already need to know when that happens, right? You're having a conversation with your friend or you're talking on the phone, and then an hour later or a minute later or something later, something recommends you some kind of content related to that thing, right? So this already happens. It's just going to be an ad form. But I find the fact that it's an ad form is actually more insidious because it's like we know you're kind of interested in some way in this topic. So let's jam it down your throat. And Sharif, I also think, especially given the current climate, I agree with you. 100% they're not going to stop at like, oh, not, whatever, sensitive topics. You're going to have everything, especially health. You're telling me they're not going to have health-related ads?
Absolutely agree.
And my other thing, too, is how smart is the AI? Does it know if you're feeling positively or negatively about the thing you're asking or talking to it about, right? Because what if it gives you an ad for like something that you've just told the AI you hate? Like, you know what I mean? And then it'll be like, maybe you want to turn off ads. I don't know. I'm playing like devil's advocate or like, I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't love this, and I have a feeling people will not love it either. But I think the one nice thing with Meta is they have that EU subscription. I think this will probably incentivize people to buy into that.
Yeah, I'd love to have that over here, too. I mean, I would not mind stop seeing ads on Instagram and Facebook. Quite frankly, they're kind of annoying.
Pay for it, brother.
We can't. It's only in Europe.
Yeah, I know, but it's coming here.
They let them, hopefully.
Yeah,
well, they only did it there because the EU forced them to give that option. I don't think they really want to, to be honest.
Would you pay for it?
I think I use Instagram enough to probably to pay for it. If it was reasonable, like we're talking like $5-10 a month, maybe whatever, a little bit more, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm on Instagram every day, so if I can avoid ads, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next story, Joey. Apple shifting focus from that huge clunk on your face called the Vision Pro, and they're shifting to smart glasses. So let's talk about this. So apparently, according to reports, Apple has halted development of its lower cost, newer possible, well, it was supposed to be, lower cost Vision Pro headset, codenamed the N100, which was slated for a 2027 release. The Vision Pro, priced around $3,500 US, launched, as we know, in February of 2024, and it's faced weak momentum. Apple, according to reports, is relocating its engineers, bless you, Joey, from the headset team to accelerate the progress on smart glasses. We're going to pause for a second, and then I'll tell you about it.
All right, guys, new traders, listen up. First month free, that's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades. Meow.
All right, so Apple is apparently working on two models for these smart glasses, guys. There's going to be one codenamed the N50, and it's going to be iPhone paired, and there's not going to be any display. It could be unveiled as soon as next year, but the actual release may actually go to 27. Then there's going to be one called the full display model. No code name for that. That one is planned for 28, but is now, according to reports, being fast-tracked to challenge Meta's Ray-Ban smart display glasses. The devices are expected to lean heavily on both voice integration as well as AI that can kind of differentiate it from the competitive wearables. We know that Meta has that wristband that you make gestures with. Apple's, obviously, the broader strategy here includes a new lineup of iPhones with with a delay in Apple Intelligence and that upgraded Siri, kind of falling, I should say, behind some of its Meg 7 competitors. So, Joey, look, let's just call a spade a spade. People liked the options included in the Vision Pro, but they didn't necessarily like having that tied to their face. They get vision fatigue as well as neck issues and all that stuff. And, you know, it's just not practical. Does this move the needle?
I think it can. Again, as for products and stuff, everything along those lines, I think it can change some things. But again, you're starting to see some more competitors step into the space, and that's going to be the likes of Meta with their neural band and everything that they got going on with the Oakleys. So what I would like to see from Apple is them actually come in with like a sunglass provider and strike a deal like Meta was, and start to kind of condense what they have going on a little bit more to see if they can put it within some of these spectacles, right? Like where, I mean, you have Oakley and Ray-Ban. I don't know who you're going to partner up with, because those are probably two of the most popular sunglass companies out there, in my opinion, aside for some of the luxury brands. But not everybody can afford your Gucci's, your Louis Vuittons, and everything along those lines. So that's what I personally want to see from Apple.
I like that. Okay. Adara, two models. One with no display that's going to be paired to the iPhone, so one has to assume the compute will probably be on the iPhone and it's connected wirelessly. But there's also going to be a full display one, Adara, and apparently they're moving it up. It was supposed to be for 28, but they want to compete with Meta.
Yeah, I saw that. Truthfully, like with regards to them trying to move up, you guys know how I feel about Apple. It's the same way I feel about Elon Musk. I don't want to hear timelines. I want to see product at a certain time. So I'm not going to get too into that. I think, like, you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. My eyes are bad enough. Like, my glasses are very thick. I do not, you know, I don't need to be putting other stuff on my face. So I'm always going to say no to the smart glasses. That being said, of the two models, Sharif and Joe and everybody, I actually think probably the better model seems to be the one where you can kind of use your phone, right? Like, I think that way, maybe it's easier to integrate. I think it maybe makes more sense. It doesn't matter what I think, though. It matters what the market thinks. Let's see what Apple's doing. Yeah, Apple right now actually did have, after pushing back with the rest of the market, decent recovery. So interesting story, and it is worth noting a couple price target increases today. I think either way, analysts feel good about the stock, but I don't know if this is going to be like a massive catalyst for Apple going forward. Like, I don't think analysts are going to be, you know, sure, we got price target increase, but I don't think this is going to be like a downgrade or an upgrade and make it or break it. Like, when will Apple have smart glasses? You know what I mean? I think that's always going to be kind of more of a focus for Meta and their multiverse. Is that what they call it? The metaverse, sorry, the metaverse. I think that's going to be maybe more their cup of tea, and I think that's always going to move the needle less for Apple.
All right, thank you, Adara. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that a lot of people are saying that Meta's glasses are absolute trash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just it's crap quality. All over the internet, people are talking really badly about it. And that's really what separates, you know, the Apples from the others. Apple's always been known as a hardware company, which is maybe why they're having issues with AI. But the fact of the matter is, you know, Meta is it's trying to diversify. And the reason he's trying to diversify is obviously for new revenue, but that wasn't the only reason. What really kind of got his goat was when he tried to make innovations within his apps, whether it was Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and then Apple and Android, of course, would be like, no, you can't do that because they control it through the App Store. So he wanted to be master of his own domain, so to speak, right? And in so pursuing, obviously there are growing pains in that he's not a hardware company, nor does he have, well, he is. He's been making the Quest for a long time, but he acquired that. I mean, the point is, he's not as, or Meta is not as robust in terms of product.
But I mean, but like, look how much heat the stock took when he was spending all that money into the metaverse.
It's still taking heat, man.
Like, right? So, yeah, I mean, it was not good. The stock got absolutely destroyed because of his capex, and it was just something that never really caught. Like it never gained in popularity.
No.
I don't think people even talk about it. I don't think the world was ready to just sway from reality, considering it was just shortly after COVID as well too. I believe in that world, right? So people wanted to get back outside, not head into that digital world.
And it
during
was super
COVID.
lame. Did you see some of the things? Remember, like that interview he had with Jim Cramer, where like he was wearing the whatever they called, Oculus, whatever the hell they're called.
Oculus,
Anyway, he had that thing on. Kramer had it on, and they're sitting there in front of each other, like you and I are sitting, but they're in the metaverse.
Yeah. It's like,
what?
How about reality?
No.
How does
Sorry,
that,
all right, let's go on to the next story. Microsoft expands AI capacity with a $19.4 billion Nebius deal. What are we talking about here? Well, Microsoft struck a deal with the Nebius Group's worth, as I mentioned, $19.4 billion, granting access, oh baby, to 100,000 Nvidia GB300 chips. That is the next generation of chips. They're not even out yet. Okay, the GB200 is one that's being shipped out. That's Blackwell. The partnership will help train large language models, of course, and develop consumer AI assistance. A deal aims to tackle the shortage, of course, of AI data center capacity, freeing Microsoft's own servers to focus on AI servers for customers so they don't have to use it for themselves. Interesting take here by Softy. Microsoft's already committed about $33 billion to neoclouds. Neoclouds are companies like CoreWeave, NewScale, Lambda. Essentially, they're cloud computing services, but they deal specifically with AI workloads, being called as a sector now collectively neoclouds, for anybody who wanted to know. The deal showcases Microsoft's strategy of leaning on smaller AI-focused infrastructure providers. What's the advantage of going with a neocloud provider? Renting neocloud servers allows Softy, Microsoft, to move faster than building its own data centers, and neoclouds handle logistical bottlenecks like power, supply, chip supply, et cetera, enabling quick deployment. So financially, Joey, outsourcing lets Microsoft categorize spending as operational expenses, improving cash flow as well as taxes and profit reporting. So I kind of feel this might be an accounting strategy as opposed to a technical strategy. Not really sure everybody will feel.
No, I think I agree with you on that one there, Sharif. I think it's a pretty good look. There's Circle, by the way. That thing's going nuts. Also, we got all out of that Tesla trade, so you get that pop-up to the side there, and then we get stopped out our last little bit. We had about 20% remaining. I wasn't going to allow that to run, considering how weak the stock has been. But yeah, so, oops, there we go. Let's pull up NV. Oh, that's not it, is it? Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway, so what I'm getting at, yeah, I like what they're doing, Sharif. I think it's a really good strategic move. They're kind of just outsourcing some more things. I think that's going to be a little bit lighter on the CapEx, obviously, but it's just going to, it's the same thing. It's data centers. It's what can we build here? How much AI infrastructure can we build? How much money can we spend? And you're seeing Microsoft continuously doing the same thing, so not too bad of a look there, Sharif.
All right, Adara, GB300s. Nobody's seen them yet?
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and kind of see. I think either way, now it makes more sense that Microsoft made this deal. Now, I want to clarify as well, and I read the report like 3 times to make sure I understood this right. So Nebius and Microsoft announced this deal on September 8th. This is a previously announced deal, but what Bloomberg is adding is some of the context, because when they announced this deal, they never actually provided any details, like when Microsoft and Nebius announced the deal, right? They never provided details. This is pretty massive. Like, we weren't really sure what the terms of the deal were. So getting access to this NVIDIA chips, that maybe could be a game changer here for Microsoft. But either way, I think it's worth noting Nebius seems to be the beneficiary here from a stock price perspective, because I think it shows, you know, Nebius is in a position where, hey, what if they make deals with some of these other hyperscalers beyond Microsoft, right? So I think it's a good look for Microsoft. I think it shows how much people are still loving NVIDIA. But I think maybe at least short term, especially short term, Nebius might be the stock to watch from here on out if we continue to see this type of catalyst, which, who knows, we might.
Stellantis share surge on U.S. market share gains. So where is STLA up? Because STLA has been a dog. Let's have a look. Are we up on the day? Yeah, 7.68%. They reported, of course, they are the makers of Chrysler and Dodge and all that good stuff there, Jeep. They reported a 15% year-over-year increase in volumes for September, boosting U.S. market share to 8.7%, up from an 8.7% up from 7.2% in August. The shares rallied over 7% in Milan and 6% in pre-market trading. It's almost at 8% right now. Morgan Stanley called this a positive inflection point, highlighting visible gains in Europe, specifically Spain
Italy, and France, as well as U.S. strength driven by Jeep, specifically in the U.S. Not surprising for me there. U.S. adjusted sales rose 2% year over year to about 16.7 million seasonally adjusted annual run rate, beating the expectation of 16.2. The growth was supported, though, by limited tariff pass-through, as well as pre-buying of EVs ahead, of course, of the expiration, which happened on the 30th. Their product pipeline and aggressive commercial strategy are seen as key drivers of the market share growth, Joey. And their battery EV penetration as well hit 11.6% in September, up from 10 in August and 8.7% a year ago. But Morgan does caution that this EV growth may reverse in October as a result, of course, of the subsidies coming to an end a couple of days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago. So, I mean, not too bad of a look. We talk about the car business being a difficult one. I mean, their best-selling vehicles in, as Sharif mentioned, Trader Takeaway, it's in there as well, too, is the Jeep, right? They're selling the most of those. And then in Europe, you head over to that. It's kind of the Fiat Panda or whatever it is there. So not too bad. But car business is tough. I would love to see them start to continue and rally and not just get absolutely destroyed left, right, and center. But for me personally, aside from Tesla, vehicles and the car business is not for me. I'm going to be avoiding that at all costs.
This company was cutting Adara multiple shifts at the Brampton plant. There were several cars that were supposed to be produced in Canada that are no longer going to be produced there as a result of the tariff strategy. Did they kind of get this one right at our expense?
I mean, it seems like they did so far. It's worth noting they had a kind of controversial CEO up until December 24. They got rid of him. Seems like this new CEO is doing pretty well. We'll have to wait and kind of see how this goes forward. I think the fact that the 15% increase in volumes seems positive, and the market share increase, I don't have an issue with that. Truthfully, I don't see many of the Stellantis vehicles around. It's probably the vehicle company I know the least about. But either way, I mean, congrats to Stellantis. I just don't have too much more to add on this.
All right, there. Let's go on to BYD, another car company. First delivery decline of 2025 amid rising EV competition. So let's talk about it. BYD, of course, is the king of EVs at the moment. If you're looking at deliveries, they delivered 393,060 vehicles in September. That's about a 6% decline year over year, despite entering China's traditional peak auto sales season. Not looking good for them out in China. The company's reportedly slashed its 2025 sales target by up to 16%. Yikes. Now aiming for about 4.6 million deliveries, reflecting, of course, intensifying domestic price competition. Now, we've seen this very specifically in China, what we're calling the race to the bottom from their EV makers, all looking to undercut each other and cut prices to gain market share. So much so that it raised the ire of the Chinese regulator, who told the companies in no uncertain terms to stop doing that, okay, which let's see if they do. Despite the decline, of course, BYD remains the dominant market leader with a 54% market share of China's EV sales in the month of September. EV startups saw record-breaking, though, monthly deliveries in September, boosted, of course, by cheaper launches, government incentives, as well as seasonal demand. Just to give you guys some examples, XPeng, XPEV, of course, delivered 41,581 units. That's up 95% year over year, but only 10% month over month. NIO, for their part, they're not falling behind here. They're catching up. They're not a distant number 3 anymore. Delivered 34,749 vehicles, another record high for the second consecutive month for NIO. Li Auto, that hot garbage, delivered 33,951 vehicles, rebounding after 3 months of weaker sales following a marketing misstep. They still managed, though, to above the 30,000 range there, Joey. So BYD looking to adjust their deliveries. That's a first. We're seeing
I mean, if they're going to adjust it, I mean, Sharif, you know what's going on in Europe already. They're just taking it by storm. But again, they're also new to the region as well, right? So you're going to see that growth most definitely be more exponential than someone who's been there for a while, like the likes of Tesla or anything along those lines. But aside from that, I'm going to step away from that. And I don't know what this name is up to, Adara. If we
Circle's
have,
fine. There's nothing.
There's nothing on it.
There is nothing.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Circle kind of tends to just do this.
Okay, well, I mean,
sometimes.
all right, yeah. If it, let's see, the tendencies, I like those. If it continuously does that, but I haven't seen it doing it in a while. But today it looks really good, 132 all the way up to 145, and it's continuing to climb. And then, I mean, we're starting to see a little bit of a rotation out of Bitcoin and then maybe into Ethereum, because we're at the highs there and we're not quite there within Bitcoin. It was selling a little bit more aggressively, so not too bad of a look in what we got going in the crypto space. It's October, baby, and let's continue to rock and roll. But yeah, I like what Katina Man did this morning. It's like, okay, at the end of the day, put your money where your mouth is. What would you rather own? Would you head over to the other markets and buy some BYDD and see how that chart's looking out, or would you rather be involved in some Tesla with Elon Musk, who's just not necessarily all about the EVs at this given moment? You got the energy storage, you have what's down the pipeline in autonomy and robotics. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's anything to worry about too much considering, Sharif. But BYDD, I think it's going to continue to outperform its peers, even though there might have to reiterate what's going on with deliveries. But I think that's just a blip in the radar, in my opinion.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. Joey, Adara, they're dropping delivery numbers at a time where it's typically the most robust for Chinese car sales. What's going on?
I mean, I think honestly, at least partially, comparatively speaking, I think maybe the read, I'll just kind of, I don't really want to speak too much to that because I don't know as much of the dynamics there. What I will speak to is the fact that Tesla shockingly outperformed a lot of these Chinese EV names by a lot. But with Tesla, there is the caveat of these numbers came right after they were really pushing purchases, or people in general were trying to purchase before that EV tax credit in the US went poof and went away, right? So you have to consider that climate. Either way, though, yeah, BYD is certainly losing some of its sheen, I think, as the leading China automaker. XPeng, I've said as of recently that I've noticed this one tends to be particularly strong in terms of the stock and in terms of the numbers. The 95% year over year, that is nothing to scoff at. 10% month over month. So yeah, I mean, with regards to their deliveries, I kind of like what XPeng's doing here. NIO's trying as well. But yeah, Li Auto and BYD, oddly enough, maybe the laggards. 6% decline though, BYD. Maybe we have to sometimes, you know, when you put so much stock in or stake in a company, you're like, oh, they're the one, they're the best. That was what BYD was to Chinese EVs for, I think. Maybe we just have to kind of step back and be like, you know what, it's just a company. Let's see what it gives us. Maybe we'll put too much pressure on it.
Yep, fair enough. Well said, Adara. Let's go on to the last topic over here. Of course, OpenAI is not a publicly traded company, but it deals with a lot that are. So let's talk about what they did yesterday. They closed a $6.6 billion secondary share sale at a $500 billion valuation. So yeah, allowing current and former employees to sell stock during the sale. The deal values the company, as I mentioned, at $500 billion, cementing it as the world's most valuable privately held company, surpassing SpaceX's $456 billion valuation. Now, before we go on, we should obviously say that, you know, these valuations are based on funding rounds, as these are illiquid investments. And so we don't really typically get a valuation until a new series of raising capital ensues. So we'll have to see what SpaceX is next time around. Bloomberg first reported the deal, while CNBC has flagged the upcoming transaction back in August. Investors in this deal include Thrive Capital, some names we know, of course, SoftBank. We got Dragoneer Investment Group. We got Abu Dhabi's MGX and T. Rowe Price. OpenAI, for their part, they authorized up to $10.3 billion in shares to be sold. That's up from the $6 billion they originally planned. Only about, though, Joey, about 2/3 of the authorized shares, that 10.3 that we talked about, were actually sold, reflecting lower participation. That is interesting to me. So apparently the analysts are viewing this lower participation positively. Let's see why. Fewer shares are seen internally as a vote of confidence in OpenAI's long-term growth prospects. The strong investor appetite, even at $500 billion, highlights the belief in AI's continued growth strategy. And Joey, the new valuation marks a sharp increase from the $300 billion valuation we were speaking about earlier. The offer was open to current and former employees who had held shares for more than 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as soon as we get into that private sector, I mean, it's like $1.3 trillion valuation amongst the big names there, and the likes of OpenAI and SpaceX, and then I'm pretty sure there's another one of Elon's companies in there. So, and I wouldn't be surprised at some point that OpenAI is $1 trillion valuation at market cap. So for me personally, I think that's pretty good. It's not a bad look. If I could get my hands on some of these shares, I would most definitely, because well, why not at the end of the day, right? And I don't know, do you think that they go public? Do you think that Sam Altman goes public?
That's the thing, Joey. Like, there used to be the desire to go public because you could raise more money.
Yeah.
Now you're not seeing that trouble in the private markets
because he doesn't need to.
Private credit, right?
Could being a non-profit be an issue as well?
Well, they're changing it.
But they're going to monetize everything.
Well, they're going to have two sides.
Oh yeah, Elon's
company,
Elon's pissed about that. So
They haven't fully done it quite yet.
No, not yet.
I understand.
But I mean, once they do open that door, Sharif, again, you're going to see it from a monetization standpoint, like you've seen in the Etsy deals. Exactly. It's just going to go. It's going to go berserk to the point where it's like, all right, yeah, you want to use it, you're going to have to pay the additional fees and all the other membership fees just to get rid of the ads. I think, in my opinion.
Well, that's the thing. We don't have ads, which brings me to my next point with Adara. Adara, we're still not seeing, ads in the body of chat, but we saw yesterday possible deals with Shopify and Etsy to be able to sell products. The way to make money there is the merchant pays a small fee. It's free to the user. He's bleeding money, okay? He's getting a lot of investments, but he's not profitable yet. What's the runway here? How do you see this whole thing unfolding?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is bizarre, like how much money they're getting for the amount of, or for the lack, I guess, of profit that's being made. And I wonder almost, like, I'm not saying they need to force Sam Altman out, like that bizarre board situation of November 23, but I think there needs to be some kind of, like, I don't want to even say activist push, they're private, but I think there needs to be some kind of collective decision. What do we do to help actually have a steady revenue stream? Now, I think it's cool that they're introducing new things like the Etsy and Shopify team up, but I think, like, they need maybe one or two steady revenue streams instead of trying to, diversify, trying to do everything, trying to, release XY new model, their GPUs are melting. Like, I think it's honestly too much that's happening. And I think if they streamline it a bit, maybe they're able to use the massive amounts of money they're getting in a better way, because it does not seem like, to your point, that they are maybe using their money in the most effective way. And they have a lot of money to use, more money than most companies or people will ever see. So, hey, Sam and team, maybe get your life right just a little bit.
Yeah, and it feels like he can't get his hands on enough GPUs, Adara, because remember when he put the image generation thing, he's made it very clear that his GPUs were melting from overuse, and we see all the new contracts that he's making, whether it's with CoreWeave or others. Go ahead.
But if you have so much money, exactly, right? Why? And so all these contracts, why are your things melting? I wonder how the money is actually being used. That, as you said, we're making these contracts, we're making these deals, but the product and the output doesn't seem to be changing much.
That's fair. Joey, go ahead. You had something to say.
I wanted to add there, like ChatGPT, the fastest growing app of all time.
Yeah.
Right? So at some point, you don't think you think Meta has good digital ad revenue.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, significantly.
I'm assuming it's going to be nicer rather than just seeing ads as a post. You know what I mean?
But we've seen it in the likes of YouTube as well too. Remember when you were first on the not an ad in sight?
No.
Now you can't watch
inundated. But like I've got premium.
Right.
Well,
you got premium.
I
you
got
don't
my
have to deal with it. But for an average dude like myself who doesn't have the premium, it's like you literally can't watch an hour video without there being 10 to 15 ads on the YouTube. And that's exactly what's going to happen with ChatGPT. It's only a matter of time. It's not if, it's just a matter of when, and then sure, it's going to happen, right?
Shopify and Etsy, the deal.
Exactly. That's the first step before the floodgates open.
Exactly.
And then
I just really hope that it ends up being cool and not lame, and just showing ads like that annoy the whole interface. Or maybe they do a very similar thing with YouTube Premium. You pay for that premium, you don't get ads. If you're on the free tier, you get slapped with ads.
Yeah, every prompt you're getting it. Our good buddy's in the chat as well.
Oh, Big Spot. He's on vacation right now. He sent me pictures yesterday of his escapades with the fam. We'll find out. Big Spot. He is, where is he at? He's on the vacation with the family. He didn't say where, but he's got some nice pictures over there. There's the beach where Big Spile is at, so he's by the coast.
What's that guy's name? What's that guy's name on YouTube? It's like if you show him a picture of anything, he can just find
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm going to send that picture to that guy, Big Spile, and I'm going to come and find you, my friend.
Find anywhere, or something monkey.
Yeah,
something monkey. Yeah. Something monkey.
He's like within like 100 meters or something of where that is. So yeah, watch out, Spile. I'm going to hire that guy, and I'm coming.
All right, I just want to point out the small cap gappers that are going before we send it to the big kahunas right now. We have RZ LV really breaking out. It's at the highs. It's a big, big move. DFLI as well just took out that dollar area for the first time on the day into 103. ONDS still trading near the highs at 920. It's been a good look. And of course, we can't forget the two monsters on the day. BTCC up very, very aggressively on the day to the tune of, I don't have it, but BQ also up here, but dropping below VWAP. These were multiple halters during our show. I hope you guys traded them well and traded them carefully. I've got the day off tomorrow, and I could not be more pleased because the weather is crazy this whole weekend.
Stupendous. As our good friend Mr. Eubank Sr. would say, it's stupendous.
Stupendous. I can't wait for that rematch, by the way, with this kid.
Stupendous.
Big kahunas are that way. If, in case you weren't in the morning, we're this in the morning. Neil's off. Obi's in. I'll see everybody momentarily at the big desk.
Yo.